Chapter 101 _ I didn't say I got lost, don't you believe it? Quote. I'll trust you for now. Hancock rolled his eyes, he didn't expect this powerful man to be a lunatic. Oh. You. Hancock was half dead with rage. He actually showed an impatient look. Emperor who has never been so impatiently responded by a boy. With Gecko's reflection, on the face of the Empress, there was something indescribably moving about her appearance. She felt that Qin Luo was deeply hidden and very mysterious. After a pause, Hancock lay on Qin Luo's shoulder and asked in a soft voice, Qin Luo, what kind of person are you? Qin Luo mentioned it and shrugged disapprovingly. Why do you like to ask about the background so much? I settled in the world at the age of 3, graduated from elementary school at the age of 5, graduated from junior high school at the age of 6, graduated from high school at the age of 8, and entered the Linerview Finance at the age of 9. At the age of 11, he entered the Legend of Stan Och to study for a degree in the sausage, and at the age of 18, he was promoted to the post of the Swordsman of the Bridge of Swords. He is proficient in all languages, do you believe it? Quote. Is this guy going crazy? Still having a brain problem, Hancock thought to himself. Qin Luo, let me ask you, why is my fruit ability not effective for you? Don't you have the slightest interest in the beauty of your concubine? Hancock asked suspiciously. No, I like you very much, but I have a certain understanding of sweet fruit, so I temporarily closed my relationship. Your ability is useless to me. Qin Luo had a smile on his face. He knew that in the original novel, the Empress, Sweet Wind had no effect on Luffy, who had no evil thoughts at all. The mole, Vice Admiral, used the method of stabbing his hand to suppress the evil thoughts, making the Empress's Sweet Wind useless. So Qin Luo guessed that as long as he didn't move his heart and had no evil thoughts, the Empress couldn't make him petrify. The Ghost Swordsman Brzee Warrior has a trick, Rage Blood. The blood in the whole body is boiling, entering a state of violent blood and energy, and it is immune to the attack of the mental state. There will be such things. Hancock nodded thoughtfully, asked the question he had always wanted to ask, and said, Did you really kill Tenryubito? Well, they are courting death, and I will satisfy them. Qin Luo replied indifferently. Hancock looked happy. She hated Tenryubito from the bottom of her heart, and the Tenryubito hoof on her back became her shame. Without thinking back to those nightmarish days when she was a child, her delicate body began to tremble. Qin Luo felt strange and frowned. What are you afraid of? Hancock was startled, hurriedly recovered, and hurriedly said, What are you talking about? Is your head broken? Her tone was still proud, but Qin Luo could feel a little shake and panic in her. You are afraid, inferior, and running away. Is the thing on your back really that terrible? Qin Luo's voice was very soft, but it caused a huge wave in Hancock's heart. You know what? Hancock's voice trembled. On the Nine-Snake Island, Qin Luo, carrying Hancock on his back, flashed away and entered the luxurious palace. Place Hancock on the royal chair on the palace. What the hell do you know? Being exposed, Hancock's voice was a little cold at this time. Don't get excited. Qin Luo held her shoulders to let her not be so emotional. It's very painful, the fate you bear. Hancock was still struggling, but Qin Luo's words calmed her down. You know that. Hancock's voice calmed down, perhaps with extreme sadness. Ah. Qin Luo let go of Hancock and sat next to her. I know everything about you, your sorrow, your pain, your helplessness, and the fragile heart behind your pride. Then I'm really touched. You know what, do you like the concubine, or pity the concubine, or make fun of the fact that the concubine was Tenryubito's slave once? Hancock lost his mind and began to become hysterical. A line of clear tears swept across Qingshou's face. It seemed that what Qin Luo knew made her despair. But somehow, seeing the sad look of the Empress, Qin Luo felt some pity in his heart. Qin Luo hugged her gently. In an instant, the The Empress was stunned by Qin Luo's rude behavior and forgot to resist. A bright moon shines in the sky. Neither of the two said a word, and they actually enjoyed each other's rare tranquility. Hancock seemed to be touched by Qin Luo's tenderness. She calmed down slowly, stopped shouting, and rested her head on Qin Luo's shoulder. Don't you despise the concubine? The concubine was a slave of Tenryubito. Hancock's voice was soft and worried. Qin Luo smiled, turned around and held Hancock in his arms with his left hand. You know. Humans are fragile creatures. No matter who they are, there will always be setbacks on the road of life. You may be sad, you may cry, you may be overwhelmed, you may be at a loss, but it is precisely because people are fragile that you need partners to support each other and overcome difficulties together. In the future, I will not let anyone bully you again. Ellipsis ellipsis ellipsis. Thank you so much. Hancock was moved by Qin Luo's words, and a tear fell from his cheeks and fell on Qin Luo's hand. Cry loudly and vent all your grievances. Qin Luo looked at Hancock, who was holding back his tears with pity, as if his heart had been stabbed, and he couldn't help but hug him tightly. Wow. Feeling the warmth in Qin Luo's chest, Hancock couldn't hold it any longer and cried out loudly. Tears flowed continuously, moistening Qin Luo's clothes and connecting the hearts of the two. The morning light slowly opened the curtain. The sky just showed the fish belly white. A colorful morning, with freshness, came to the world. A chirping of birds rang in his ears. Qin Luo slowly opened his eyes and looked at Hancock. Smiled helplessly. Last night, Hancock vented his grievances in his arms. Finally, he was tired from crying and fell asleep like this. As if feeling Qin Luo's awakening, the Empress opened her eyes and found herself lying in Qin Luo's arms. Immediately blushing, he fled from Qin Luo's arms as if flying, and turned around. Thank you. Last night, the concubine slept very peacefully. Seeing that confidence and vitality return to Hancock, Qin Luo was relieved. I wanted a straight man to yell at her, but I am polite to me, Nima. But the nature of the scumbag still made him warm Isho, and said with concern. What else did I say? Thank you, as long as you are happy. 2. Chapter 102 _ A smile appeared on Hancock's face. Go back with your concubine. I want the people on the island to know you. You are my Hancock's man. Isn't your village forbidding men to enter? Qin Luo said shamelessly. You are a little too domineering, but I like that. Hancock chuckled softly. What? Dare to kill Tenryubito and escape in the hands of Marine Admiral? Doesn't Lord Qin Luo, worth 2 billion Baileys, dare to go in? To be honest, Qin Luo was stimulated. But anyone can do this. A beautiful woman stands in front of you and says you don't dare. You can't. I believe no one can stand it. Okay, that's what you said. Qin Luo shrugged. Other women are not afraid. He is afraid of a ball. Hancock followed, and naturally grabbed Qin Luo's right hand. In the castle. After Hancock announced his relationship with Qin Luo, the residents of the entire island were shocked and stunned. Lord Snake Princess. One of the old women, who was about 1 meter tall, walked in. Shiji, I still hope you will consider this matter carefully. The short old lady who spoke was the Emperor of the Amazon Lily, Luffy said. It's mother-in-law Bean. Hancock raised his eyebrows lightly, with a high attitude. I have already said that my concubine's decision will not change. Shiji, this is not the time for you to be self-willed. Even if you don't think about yourself, you have to think about so many lives on Maiden Island. Qin Luo is a big pirate with 2 billion Baileys, and he will affect the 9 Snake Island. Quote. More excited she became. Our safety may no longer be guaranteed. Do you really think that our Maiden Island can compete with a world-class army? Hearing this, Hancock shouted in a coquettish voice. Shut up. You old woman, you don't need to point fingers here for the matter of your concubine. Mother Duzi did not back down. Snake girl, this is a major matter of life and death on Maiden Island, you can't be so hasty. At this time, Hancock can be said to be furious and annoying. She grabbed Granny Bean's hair and threw it out the window. It may be that the soldiers of Maiden Island felt that she was doing too much, and the guards around said, "Sir Snake, isn't this too?" Hancock suddenly put on an incomparably charming and seductive posture, and peach blossoms appeared around him. Even if the concubine does anything, she will be forgiven, because the concubine is so beautiful. When the warriors under the Empress saw the Empress like this, their eyes were filled with peach hearts. Lord Snake Princess. Yes, yes. Lord Snake G is so beautiful. Mother-in-law Bean, she deserves it. I have to say that the charm of the Empress is really off the charts, and her attractiveness has no gender boundaries. Chin Luo, your concubine will always be by your side, no matter if you are enemies with the whole world. Hancock said to Chin Luo with a serious face. It's all right, Hancock, even if you don't publicize it. I'm also afraid that the world government won't be able to deal with me, and it will hurt you instead. Hancock with a worried face, Chin Luo hurriedly comforted him. Really, I'm so ashamed that my concubine didn't have an upright relationship with you. Hancock was happy, but suddenly felt sorry for Chin Luo again, and drew circles in shame, making Chin Luo sweat for a while. At night, the bright moon is in the sky. Today's Nine Snake Island is extraordinarily lively. Hancock specially set up a large stage in the wide area of the street for dancing. It was specially to celebrate Chin Luo's arrival. The street scene is very lively. The streets are full of women coming and going. Their faces were filled with happy smiles, as if every day was new and full of new ideas. The stage is placed in the middle of the road in the street square, and the mask dance party is very lively. Women came one after another, with Hancock's style and curiosity about the man of the Empress. For this dance, you need to buy a mask. On the stage, every woman wore a strange mask and danced together. It's okay for a woman to ask a woman to dance. Come on. While watching, Chin Luo was patted on the shoulder and looked back. It's Hancock. Today, she is wearing a cheongsam with elegant patterns, with long hair tied at the back of her neck and smiling. Her voice is gentle, very temperamental, gentle and polite. Dignified and elegant, there is a kind of classical beauty of Goot. The face with melon seeds, peach blossom eyes, and outstanding facial features give people a very friendly feeling. Especially seeing the jade pendant hanging on Hancock's white neck. The black string sets off the fairness of her neck, and the transparent and crystal clear jade complements her skin perfectly. Hancock, did you know? Know what? You are very beautiful today, and the universe and the galaxy are not as good as you. Chin Luo said with sincere admiration. Hancock was startled, blushing instantly, lowered his head, and said, "Thank you. Let's go pick a mask too." Hancock took the initiative to hold Chin Luo's hand. Chin Luo's mouth raised Vivi. Very straightforward, but I love it. Hancock in front of him, the scent that comes from time to time is the scent of the perfume sprayed on Zhao Min's body, fresh and comfortable. Chin Luo felt Hancock's handshake, and couldn't help scratching it. It felt soft and boneless. Hancock's body trembled as he felt something, and his face was blushing. She didn't put on rouge today, the woman is only red for her lover. The running two people, under the illumination of the street lights, stretched their shadows very long. It's short-lived, but it's beautiful. Soon, the two went to a shop that made masks and chose the masks they liked. The masks sold here are all kinds of masks, such as wild lion, leopard face, black face, flower vine, silver fox and other patterns. These half-face masks cover only the upper half of the face, while the lower half of the face is exposed. I think this suits you. Chin Luo took the initiative to choose a mask with a pattern of flowers and vines for Hancock and put it on lightly for her. In an instant, Hancock, wearing a mask, has a sense of mystery, from the quietness of the big forest, dancing like a flower elves. Chin Luo couldn't help but boast, "It's beautiful." Hancock blushed and lowered his head slightly, not daring to look directly at Chin Luo. As for Chin Luo, he also picked a mask. Silver Fox. After Chin Luo put on the Silver Fox mask, his temperament suddenly changed. The originally childish and immature face was covered. The current Chin Luo is mysterious, powerful, and has a convincing temperament. Even Hancock couldn't help but feel a little crazy when he saw Chin Luo now. Damn, it's impeccable, that's my charm, unstoppable. This Silver Fox mask seems to be specially made for Chin Luo. The silver-white metal brings out Chin Luo's mystery, the bright appearance shows Chin Luo's handsomeness. At this time, the pedestrians on the road all looked sideways. This man is handsome and the woman is noble, everyone thinks that he is really talented and handsome. Lord Snake Girl. Is that her man next to her? Why do I feel that I am not worthy of Lord Snake G? That's right, Lord Snake G is so beautiful. Don't talk nonsense, Lord Snake G is always right, we should always support it. In the center of the street, on a huge stage. Chin Luo actually wants to dance in the pure land of bliss, but the environmental equipment here does not allow it. Of course, if you give a pole, maybe I might give everyone a pole dance, and I won't let your nose bleed and I will lose. Hancock, let's dance together. Chin Luo was gentle with Isho and made a gentleman's invitation to Hancock. I don't know much. The usual high cold goddess couldn't help but panic at this moment. Hancock waved his hand. No matter how you look at it, it's more troublesome than murder. The reason why she set up this dance was just to make Chin Luo happy. How could he have thought that Chin Luo would take the initiative to invite her to dance? Perhaps, from the very beginning, she realized that the mask was chosen just for dancing. It's okay, have some fun. Chin Luo stepped forward and took Hancock's hand, stepped into the stage, and danced with the others. When women are reserved, men must take the initiative. At the scene, with the melody of the piano, Chin Luo handheld with Hancock, slow Reese's circles. When I first started dancing, I was still a little unfamiliar. Hancock often stepped on Chin Luo's feet. To make her particularly embarrassed, Chin Luo just smiled and took it slow. The more I danced, the more skilled I became, and I was immersed in dance songs. Hancock has long straight black hair, which has been tied up in a braid, and his beautiful face has the hot sweat of dancing, and the redness like a red apple. Every action of the two seems to reflect an innocent and simple story in love, where joy and other feelings all converge. At this time, it seems to construct a relaxed and happy picture of first love, and there is an indescribable sweet feeling. The audience under the stage was also attracted by the prominent Chin Luo and Hancock on the stage. After the dance, Chin Luo and Hancock were very happy and had a good time. The two also took the opportunity to take off their masks. Hancock followed behind Chin Luo, looking at the figure in front of him. A smile appeared on the corner of her mouth, which was her involuntary smile. Thinking about every minute and every second with Chin Luo. Chapter 103_. For a whole week, Chin Luo and Hancock visited Nine Snake Island. Time to leave. Chin Luo's tone was a little heavy. Hancock, I'm leaving. The Empress' face was hard to look at. When? Tomorrow. Hancock closed his eyes, hugged Chin Luo suddenly, and a soft voice sounded, don't forget me. Looking at the slightly sad face, Chin Luo lightly kissed Hancock's forehead, never. The hearts of the two were thumping and beating fast. Fengshi returns to her hometown, and travels all over the world to seek her phoenix. The night passed. Under Hancock's blowing kiss, Chin Luo embarked on the journey again. Ding! The host triggers the scumbag nature, conquers the goddess reward, gets 5% of the character progress, and the energy giver, the ability obtained by the host can be given to others. Chin Luo looked surprised. This energy giver is a bit interesting. In other words, the ability that he has acquired can be given to Nami and Perona. However, there seems to be a limit. The strength of the 26 powers given requires the physical fitness of others to maintain. If Chin Luo grants Rey's ability to Nami, Nami's constitution is slightly weaker and can only get 15% of Rey's progress at most. And Perona is stronger, maybe 20%. But Chin Luo felt that Rey should not be suitable for Perona, only the ability of Ghost Swordsman. Perona's burgundy umbrella can be used as a blade to cultivate a female Ghost Swordsman, which is also quite good. 5% of the character progress, Chin Luojia is on top of Kai Yu Yanwang Suzaku. From 70% to 75%, it is only 5% away from the next new lottery draw. Host, Chin Luo. Currently using characters from the heavens, DNF Ghost Swordsman. Owned characters, Thor Rey 80%, Ghost Swordsman 85%, Blazing Feather Flame Phoenix Suzaku 75%. Chance to draw characters from the heavens, 0. Hockey, Armament Emission, Observation Hockey, Listen to All Things, Foresight, Insight, Conqueror. Fighting Technique, Armor of Thunder Escape LV2. Swordsmanship, 6th Soul Skill, 10,000 swords return to the sect. Zanpakuto, Senbon Sakura. With the recording pointer, Chin Luo's ability to drive thunder and lightning was as fast as thunder, and 2 days later, in the vast sea, the Shuang was finally discovered. At this moment, on the deck of the First Emperor, 3 figures are sitting at the table, playing poker. Well, Chin Luo was puzzled, how could there be 3 figures? As the distance gets closer, I saw the appearance of another figure. It is a winter fur hat with furry with leopard spots, special black eye bags on the eyes, 2 small gold earrings on each ear, a mustache on the chin, wearing a casual long hat with a hat man with sleeves. Trafalgar Law. Chin Luo was a little surprised, how could he appear here? His arrival. It also caught the attention of the 3 of them. Master. Nami ran over happily. Chin Luo's disappearance these days made her almost think there was an accident, and she was worried to death. So is Perona. Speaking of God, I really have been missing for a few days. And Luo also put down the playing cards in his hand and looked at Chin Luo, a look of surprise still flashed in his eyes. I didn't expect that the person who defeated Dover was really so young. Oh, miss me. Chin Luo, Vivi Isho, took advantage of the situation and hugged Nami, recited a wave of old love, and pinched it on purpose. Where have you been these days? Could it be looking for beautiful women? Nami patted Chin Luo's hand and said shyly. Cough cough. How could it be? Chin Luo replied without blushing. Don't ask, just ask. Hancock is an accident. Life is full of surprises. Chin Luo, last time you said God, are you going to fight Golden Lion Shiki? Perona asked curiously. Yes. Chin Luo nodded. The news of him defeating the king of the old era has spread all over the world these days. He has also read the newspapers about himself in 9 Snake Island. What is written in the newspaper? The 5 emperors in the future will kill the Golden Lion Shiki, laying the foundation for the arrival of a new era and the end of the old era. At this time, Chin Luo looked at Luo and asked knowingly. He is. Oh he. Nami was about to speak. I'm Trafalgar Law, captain of the Heart Pirates. Luo took the initiative to step forward and introduce himself. Oh, Chin Luo nodded. After answering the question, he joked with Nami and Perona, and asked if anything major happened recently. They also deliberately sweetly said that they have been much more beautiful recently and have a slender figure. Let the 2 girls cover their mouths and laugh from time to time. Quote ellipsis quote. Quote. Laden was in place, ashamed, this guy was so arrogant. Don't ask yourself, why did you come to him? Hateful. He is usually black-bellied, indifferent, calm, and arrogant. His tone is sometimes lazy and helpless. He is careful and scheming, and doesn't like being ordered. Sometimes even ignoring other people's love, speechless sarcasm compares the middle finger to others. Unexpectedly, today I was ignored. But there is no way, After all, there is something to come to find Qin Luo. Qin Luo, can I discuss a cooperation with you? Luo said. Cooperation. Come and listen. Qin Luo raised his brows. Your goal should be to break the order of the 4 emperors at sea, successfully establish your own power, and become the existence of the 5th emperor. Luo said slowly. Qin Luo Vivi nodded. Doflamingo is in charge of selling underground weapons and artificial devil fruits to Kaido of the beasts, and Kaido wants to create an army of animals. If you want to bring down Kaido, you must first start with Doflamingo, and the forces of the Don Quixote family have penetrated the underground dark world. Only by pulling out this seedling can the balance of the great shipping route be broken, and the chaos at sea will be a good opportunity to become emperor. Luo finally stated his purpose, wanting to cooperate with Qin Luo to go to Dressrosa and defeat Doflamingo. In the New World, there are only 2 ways to survive, either to submit to the 4 emperors, or to defeat the 4 emperors. Luo believed that Qin Luo was absolutely unwilling to be subordinated to others, and would definitely not submit to the 4 emperors, so defeating the 4 emperors must be his goal. To be honest, what you said does make sense. When Luo heard this, his face became happy, but the next second. However, you are not qualified now. Talking to me about cooperation, you are not qualified. Qin Luo said with a smile. Luo formed an alliance with himself in order to use his own hand to kill Doflamingo and avenge Corazon's revenge. When your strength is enough for me to see it, I will think about it with you again and talk about cooperation. Luo frowned. He didn't expect Qin Luo to be so dismissive of his cooperation plan. However, after thinking about it, since Qin Luo was offered a reward of 2 billion Bailey, he naturally has his own means and strength. Luo's plan, in Qin Luo's eyes, is not worth mentioning at all. However, if you think about it, the price you pay for cooperation is to sacrifice yourself and use the ability of the fruit of surgery to give me eternal life. I am willing to give it a try. Qin Luo's mouth raised Vivi. Chapter 104 You. Luo looked startled, his face full of shock. How did he know the ability of the fruit of surgery? The fruit of the operation, one of which is the surgery of immortality, can give human beings eternal life, if used by a person with sufficient talent. Once this operation is performed, the person with the ability will die. This was once purchased by the world government for 5 billion Baileys. Luo never thought how Qin Luo learned about the ability of the fruit of surgery. Obviously the 2 of them had not been in contact before. Could it be that the Don Quixote family leaked the news? Just when Luo's mind was constantly thinking, a voice resounded in Qin Luo's mind. Ding! The host triggers the mission. Save Dressrosa, kill Doflamingo, and make the darkness behind the scenes public to the world. Mission reward. Obtain the technique of multiple shadows. Good guy, it's you who's waiting. Qin Luo, Vivi Isho, said. I suddenly thought about it and thought your plan was good. I promised to cooperate with you. Trafalgar Law was stunned for a moment, not knowing whether Qin Luo was joking or fooling himself. But looking at the other party's expression, it seems to be true. What made him change his mind? Is it really an ageless surgery that wants the fruits of his own surgery? Qin Luo saw his doubts and explained, don't worry, I won't use your fruit ability. Doflamingo already has a grudge against me. In that case, take this opportunity to kill him in one fell swoop. In that case, Qin Luo is in charge. What are you going to do? Make sure Qin Luo is serious, Luo asked. He knew that Qin Luo had always used violence to control violence. Before that, I have to test your strength first. With a smile on the corner of Qin Luo's mouth, he looked at Nami, Perona, and Luo. An uninhabited island. Qin Luo used the energy giver. Giving 15% of Rei's ability to Nami will greatly enhance her strength compared to giving Nami the ability to obtain Thundercloud Zeus in advance. On the other hand, Perona has obtained 50% of Ghost Swordsman's abilities, and his swordsmanship is unparalleled. In the future, they can rely on their own consciousness, comprehend by themselves, and gradually increase their abilities. The two women's practice is not yet home. At least one must master hockey, observation hockey or armament, both of which can increase their survivability. Because Chin Luo was sure that he was going to attack Dressrosa and the news that he was going to kill Doflamingo came out. Marine will definitely intervene, and CP0 will also appear at that time. Maybe they will face the siege of the 3 Admiral Marines, and they will not care about the safety of the 2 women at that time. So now, let them have a certain ability to protect themselves. Half a month passed. Now Nami and the 2 women have almost mastered observation hockey, and they have begun to dabble in armament. They can surround armament, but they have not been able to form a black-hardened attachment. Nami's ability to develop thunder and lightning has been greatly improved. She is the king of the 3 ancient weapons, and her understanding of the power of nature is more consolidated. Its strength ranks among the ranks of 300 million pirates. And Perona left even more. For the manipulation of the female ghost swordsman, it is more sharp, and the sharp-edged sword is enough to kill the supernova of the new era. Boom, boom. Right now, on the island. Chin Luo is fighting Nami, Perona and Trafalgar Law by himself. With the 3 of them working together, Chin Luo was still able to fight with ease. Nami occasionally attacked Chin Luo with his thunder and lightning ability, and Perona's sharp sword Chi also threatened Chin Luo, and with Sheng Luo's surgical fruit, room slaughterhouse, the cooperation was really seamless. However, Chin Luo's speed and the super-strong observation hockey's induction made the 3's attacks not in vain. Even if Chin Luo used Conqueror, it would be enough to shock the 3 of them. After all, their mental power is not very strong. Boom. Chin Luo punched out, breaking the lightning ball that Nami slammed over. At the same time, he kicked his foot and collided with the sword energy that Perona had slashed over in the air. Whoosh. Luo's figure flickered suddenly, appeared in front of Chin Luo, and a scalpel was poked towards the center of Chin Luo's chest. Chin Luo retracted the fist that bombarded Nami and the 2 girls, and instantly covered a layer of dark armament hockey, coupled with the rock's tough defense, blocking Luo's attack. At the same time, Chin Luo's eyes flashed. He pointed his backhand, and pointed to Luo not far away, with a domineering and unparalleled aura, pierced through the void, and ran towards Luo. Slaughterhouse, diaresis. And at this moment, Luo's expression did not change. His voice sounded, and suddenly disappeared. Lightning and thunder. Nami's expression turned positive, gaining 15% of Rey's ability, and her strength greatly increased, which also made her realize that she could do more for Chin Luo, and was no longer timid and could only hide behind the oil bottle. For the first time, she felt the impetus to increase her strength. In an instant, the sky above the island was covered with dark clouds, and thunder and lightning like silver-white snakes charged towards Chin Luo. Just as Chin Luo was about to avoid him, Perona and Luo appeared above him, and they blocked him with a joint strike, causing him to be instantly covered by lightning. Whoa! Chin Luo came directly to a thunderous bath, and for him today, it was not enough to restrain his actions. However, he didn't intend to break free. The armor of Thunder Dun opened, forming a layer of hard armor between the skin around him, washing and rinsing, but it did not pose any threat to Chin Luo. The 3 also understood that Chin Luo couldn't help this. The blood-red umbrella in Perona's hand was like a sharp blade, wrapped in a 10,000 force, flew out of the air and stabbed Chin Luo. Cloud-piercing sword. And at the same time, Wong Hao Hao diaresis charge. Nami let out a coquettish drink, and a violent thunder and lightning force gathered in her hands, wrapping it around the body of Perona's swung sword. Crackling. Under the blessing of the power of thunder, the blade seemed to be transformed into a huge and terrifying flying arrow, powered by thunder currents, and its speed skyrocketed directly, with a might that seemed to penetrate everything. It's a good fit. Looking at this blow and judging its power, Chin Luo's eyes flickered. He excited armament emission to the limit, and slammed his fist into the sky. The fist and the blade collided in the void. Under the attack of the twisting force, the thunder current scattered and splashed like electric flowers in an instant, just like a thunder current, blocked by some kind of force, and scattered in all directions. The blade was wrapped in Lei Lu, and it pierced little by little Qi Jin, almost touching Qin Luo's fist bone, but it was stuck in midair. Boom. String. Chapter 105 _ Boom. A violent roar finally exploded on the island, and the terrifying aftermath forced the three of them to take a defensive stance. When CC Laming dissipated, Qin Luo was suspended in midair several meters high, slowly withdrawing his fists, and there was a sandy beach under his feet. This move is very powerful. Qin Luo took a light breath and nodded at Nami and Perona Vivi. Emission armament to the extreme, he would probably not be able to stop this blow and suffer a few minor injuries. That's it for this time, you can continue to practice. Qin Luo stopped the three who seemed to want to continue fighting, and the figure flickered and flew into the distance. He is afraid that if he fights again, he will pull out the white blade day. After all, he has no self-abuse behavior. Whoosh, whoosh. Qin Luo used the charging of thunder and lightning, stepped on the air, flew to a higher sky, and the sky climbed away. As the altitude got higher and higher, the clouds gradually disappeared, and the air became extremely thin. Qin Luo could feel the pressure of the atmosphere on him with every going. In addition, breathing has become difficult. At this height, you can already see a large part of the world, and you can see the stars below at a glance cloth-like black spots moved by ants. Void. Looking at the lonely and dark void, Qin Luo's eyes flickered, and he could even see the moon gradually appearing at the end of his eyes. Enno yearns for the infinite land. If I remember correctly, there should be a special mechanical civilization on the moon. If he has time, Qin Luo would like to fly to the moon and find out. However, with his current ability, he is still unable to fly to the moon from here. Time is also passing slowly. A month later. Nami is already a battle-hardened thunder warrior, no longer a cowardly worry, a vase who only hides behind others. So is Perona. Luo's armament haki, greatly increased, and even realized observation haki. While the three are fighting each other, their strength is gradually increasing. This day, Qin Luo released the news. He, the captain of the first Emperor Pirates, Qin Luo. Captain of the United Heart Pirates, Trafalgar Law. 3 days later, CGAC set off for Dressrosa, Crusade Doflamingo, who helped the Emperor tear his false veil, and save the people who were in trouble in Dressrosa. In an instant, a turbulent wave broke out in the New World, and even the Marine headquarters was lively. You must know that the Don Quixote family's intelligence network and trading network are spread all over the world, and they have insider transactions with many forces. Once Doflamingo is killed by Qin Luo, the Don Quixote family's career will definitely be greatly affected. Qin Luo. Sitting on the throne of Dressrosa Palace, Doflamingo listened to the report of his subordinates. His face was gloomy, since he was defeated last time. His heart was very proud, and he suffered insults. But how did Qin Luo know about Dressrosa's shady story? You know, there are countless members of various forces who have sneaked into Dressrosa over the years, but most of them have been turned into toys by Sugar. All the secrets about the Don Quixote family are hidden in the dark underground and never see the light of day. Trafalgar Law, when did that guy hang out with Qin Luo? Doflamingo's eyes narrowed slightly, and when he mentioned him, he would think of that bastard Corazon, and the extremely coveted surgical fruit. At this moment, Doflamingo stood up with an evil smile on his face, and said, "Since that's the case, it's time for me to make some preparations. The government and Marine have already hated you to the core. If you want to deal with me, then try it out." Done. Doflamingo took out the phone bug and dialed the world government. As the original Tenryubito, the largest trading corps in the dark underworld, he is the most special of all Shichibukai, with influences throughout the gang, the Marine, and even the government. "The guy you want to kill the most is coming to me now, fur. I don't know what your plan is. Marine headquarters. A certain conference room. Sengoku sat in the main seat, 3 admirals sat in the side seats, Suru vice admiral and Garp sat in the opposite row. Sengoku said in a deep voice. Chin-Luo openly announced that he is going to Dressrosa to fight against Doflamingo. What is the reason? It stands to reason that he shouldn't attack Dressrosa for no reason. It doesn't do him any good. Could it be that there is something hidden in it? Or, just for the hatred from the last Shichibukai meeting? Others are also indecisive. No matter what, since Chin-Luo just attacked Doflamingo, who is a Shichibukai meeting, he is still so much fanfare, obviously provoking the majesty of the world government and marine, he is bound to be taken down this time. Akainu's indifferent voice came, his fists clenched, he wanted to take down this wicked kid in one fell swoop. That's it, Akainu, you are the leader of the team. You are responsible for going to Dressrosa and arresting Chin-Luo to impel down. If you can't catch him alive, then... Speaking of the back, even Sengoku's tone lowered, not too full. Although Akainu's strength is indeed the strongest among the 3 admirals, Chin-Luo's strength should have increased a lot during this period, and even Golden Lion Shiki is no match for him. Kizaru on the side heard the words Chin-Luo, and he recalled the scene where he was almost killed by Chin-Luo in the islands of Sabayati. Just rely on him, I'm afraid not to die. Kizaru murmured in a low voice, he wouldn't go anyway, Chin-Luo is a lunatic. As soon as the words fell, a black line appeared on Akainu's forehead, and he glared at Kizaru, wanting to hit him with a dark hound. Then Akainu will be the leader. Kuzan and Kizaru will start from the other 2 sides. Once you find Chin-Luo showing signs of escaping, you will join forces to take him down. Sengoku thought for a moment, although it was a bit of a fuss for the 3 admiral to arrest an imp, but it was also a means of insurance. Suru vice admiral also nodded. Marshal, you don't have to, I am enough to take down that kid. Akainu was about to stand up and speak. Chapter 106_. That's it, let's go. Sengoku waved his hand, already made up his mind. Kuzan shrugged his shoulders. It's a pity that he didn't fight Chin-Luo last time. I hope he has a chance this time. Kizaru always had an ominous premonition in his heart, afraid that this time, he would still be unsuccessful, and he might even pay a price. Garp, who was eating the senbei, also had a solemn expression on his face. Chin-Luo, this brat, made him more and more unpredictable. If only Ace could be as promising as this guy. No, that guy Ace, who became a pirate, doesn't go back to Windmill Village very often. To be a pirate and be a marine. When I think of my grandson Luffy, who is arguing all day long to be a pirate, I'm annoying him to death. And the red-haired boy, every time he encourages Luffy to go out to sea to be One Piece, King of Pirates tilde, his intentions are not good. Wano-kuni. Kaido, nicknamed Beasts, is the captain of the Beasts Pirates, known as the strongest creature on land, sea and air. Unrestrained personality, it can be said to be lawless, and his interests are quite strange. He likes suicide. Although he is one of the 4 emperors, with numerous younger brothers and a powerful cadre at the level of the 3 disasters, Kaido has always liked to go it alone, especially as one enemy. He has repeatedly fought against Marine or other 4 emperors by himself. 18 times when he challenged Marine and the 4 emperors alone, and was sentenced to death 40 times, but no one could really kill him, even if he tried to commit suicide many times without success. If it is said that Whitebeard is named the strongest man in the world, because of the terrifying ability of the shaking fruit to subvert the sea. That Kaido is known as the strongest duel, relying on his immortality, no matter how he kills, he can't die. What, some kid threatened to kill Dover. What a foolish kid. In the huge palace, Kaido drank his wine and said carelessly. You must know that Kaido has been trading with Doflamingo. If he dies, the follow-up devil fruit trading is not going to waste, which is absolutely not allowed by him. Captain, the other party is the hot new star on the sea recently, named Chin Luo, who killed Tenryubito and defeated Golden Lion Shiki. Drought, Jack, one of the three disasters, opened his mouth and said. Okay, I don't care who he is, you go and kill him, Dover can't fall. Kaido waved his hand indifferently, a young brat, not enough to attract his attention. Even Chin Luo offered a reward of 2 billion Bailey to kill the king of the old era. Yes. What? Chin Luo is in charge, you say Doflamingo is the former Tenryubito, and Tenryubito is afraid of knowing the secrets of Mariajoy's national treasure. Luo was shocked. Just now Chin Luo told him about the history of Don Quixote. Tenryubito, the descendant of the creator of the current world government of the original Dressrosa, the world aristocrat. Doflamingo, on the other hand, became an ordinary person because his parents gave up their world aristocratic status. If that's the case, then if we go to war like this, we will immediately be targeted by the government and marine, and then. Luo said anxiously. Chin Luo interrupted him and looked straight at him. What? Are you afraid? If you are really afraid, you can leave, but this way, you won't have the chance to avenge Corazon, because I will be in advance. Get rid of Dover. Luo Xian fell silent, closed his eyes, and there were pictures of Mr. Corazon pulling the corners of his mouth and smiling at him. He opened his eyes, and there was a gleam in them. This fight, no matter what, Doflamingo will die. Chin Luo patted Luo on the shoulder and said with a smile, Don't worry, you will get what you want. My plan has been implemented. I will not only let Doflamingo die in Dressrosa, but also bring him to ruin. The power of the Don Quixote family is time to clean it up. Emperor sailed slowly on the sea, heading for an island not far from Dressrosa. With the 3 arrows of the advanced recording pointer and part of the map of the New World, Chin Luo immediately judged where he was. There was an island away from Dressrosa, which was also the last buffer zone. Once you step into Dressrosa, it's time for a full-scale battle. Soon. Chin Luo and others landed on the first island, where they purchased ingredients and some needed items. For Dressrosa, Doflamingo has also recalled the cadres who were out, and the people still don't know what happened. But the major forces on the sea gradually captured a feeling like the eve of a storm. As the core of the dark world, the Don Quixote family whose trading network spreads all over the world. Once something goes wrong, it will immediately spread to the whole world. 2 hours later. Here it is, Dressrosa. Looking at the island ahead, Luo took a deep breath, recalling the scene where Doflamingo killed Corazon. He couldn't help clenching the demon sword in his hand, and his eyes were cold. He knows that his current strength is not enough to kill Doflamingo, but he believes in Chin Luo's strength. In order to avenge Corazon and kill Doflamingo, he would even give his life. This battle. About to make Doflamingo pay for his actions. Let's go. Chin Luo's eyes were calm, he opened his mouth when the boat gradually landed, and jumped to the shore. There is no need to hide anything, only the decisive battle will tell. Nami and Perona followed Chin Luo. With their current strength, it would not be a problem to deal with Don Quixote's officials. As for Luo, he was walking in the back, and a group of 4 walked towards Dressrosa, and so grandly crossed the street and walked towards the palace in the center of Dressrosa. Here they come. It turned out to be so blatant and walked over without covering it up. Ellipsis. In Dressrosa's central palace, Doflamingo stood by the window with a wicked smile on his face, as if he had everything in his hands. He turned around, walked out from the main entrance of the palace, and said to the figure in the dark, Since the guests have arrived, it is time to go out and greet them properly. The top officials of the Don Quixote family gathered, except Diamante, who had died. Virgo, who was undercover in Marine, arrived at Dressrosa a few days ago under the formal order of Marine. Of course. Virgo will not show up face to face, he will lead Marine, and represent Marine's identity to attack the First Emperor pirates, because everything is a decision of the upper level, and it will not be exposed and will not attract suspicion. When Chinluo and the other four arrived outside Dressrosa's palace, Doflamingo and the top cadres other than Virgo stepped out. "You're still here, Chinluo. Are you going to stay with me forever?" Doflamingo looked at Chinluo, the corners of his mouth on both sides rose to a strange arc, and the smiling face wearing sunglasses made people palpitate. "Dover, why did you change a pair of sunglasses? Your pair is not as pretty as the one I have in my hand." Chinluo looked up at Doflamingo, contempt for Isho, and in his palm appeared the sunglasses of the trophy Doflamingo obtained last time. At this moment, on Doflamingo's eyes, there is another pair of sunglasses of the same type. He thought that the last time he fought, it was smashed and destroyed and sank to the bottom of the sea, but he did not expect that it was seized by Chinluo as a trophy. Doflamingo's face was gloomy, and this guy was really ruthless. 2. Chapter 107 Yang, do you know the trade partner behind me? Finished speaking, Chinluo interrupted him, "That guy Kaido, I will find him sooner or later." Doflamingo was speechless and completely understood that Chinluo was a lunatic. However, his smile was even worse, and he turned to look at Trafalgar Law behind Chinluo, saying, "Luo, you kid is finally back. The third generation of the Don Quixote family's red heart has been reserved for you, Fuyi." Doflamingo didn't want to kill Luo, the effect of the fruit operator was too great. If you are willing to obey him, the value in some aspects is even higher than the sugar of the fruit of childishness. Hearing Doflamingo's words, Luo's always calm face suddenly raised, and said coldly to Doflamingo, "From the moment Mr. Corazon died, the purpose of my existence is to avenge Mr. Corazon, and you should go to hell to repent, Doflamingo." Yang. Listening to Luo's words, Doflamingo did not show any anger, but smiled and said, "Should I say you are courageous or stupid, Luo? However, I regret to tell you that your opponent today is not me." As Doflamingo's voice fell, three figures of different heights, but all wearing white trench coats and masks, slowly walked out of the darkness. The white tone formed a strong contrast with the tone of Chinluo's group. The highest level of world government intelligence agencies. CP0. Chinluo looked at the three people who came over, his eyes flickered, and he spoke slowly. "There is no doubt that these three people are members of CP0 under the world government, and the chief of CP0 is likely to be among them. However, only 3 people were sent here. Do you despise him too much? First Emperor Pirates, give up resistance, you can suffer less." A tall and thin masked man walking at the forefront, his voice was as indifferent as the cold winter wind, and he spoke to Chinluo and the others. "Whether it's the order of the Gorosei 5 elders to destroy the first Emperor Pirates, or the vocation and mission of protecting the original Tenryubito Doflamingo, the first Emperor Pirates are ranked first on their annihilation list." Knowing that the first Emperor Pirates were going to find trouble for him, Doflamingo certainly couldn't do nothing. Knowing that the government hated Chinluo deeply, he naturally contacted Gorosei 5 elders and CP0 immediately, and Gorosei 5 elders also. There was almost no hesitation, and the commander of CP0 was dispatched directly. As a force on the bright side, Marine's every move will attract a lot of attention, but CP0 hidden in the dark is different. Its actions are completely secret and not known to the outside world. The beginning to the end, Chinluo's eyes were not wavered. He looked at Doflamingo, and said slowly, "Stop talking so much, let's get started, Don Quixote Doflamingo." ... Doflamingo stared at Chinluo, followed by Isho, and said, "It seems that you still have nothing to fear. Marine will arrive here in half a day. Is it possible that the 4 of you can defeat us?" As Doflamingo's voice fell, the 2 top cadres, Torapal and Pika, slowly stepped forward and stood in a row with him. At the same time, a large number of members of the Don Quixote family rushed to the square in front of the palace, divided into 4 armies of spades, plums, hearts and squares. Bomber Gladius. Tons of pressure on Mahabharata. Di Weng Quan Lao Ji. Almost all the cadres of the Don Quixote family gathered here, and each of them was a well-known powerhouse in the sea. If it wasn't for Shichibukai's subordinates who were not rewarded, all of them would be New World pirates with a reward of more than 200 million. And the four major armies of Don Quixote, which were densely advancing, brought an extremely strong oppression. Now, in some buildings not far from the palace, many civilians saw this scene, and all of them looked towards this side with shocked expressions on their faces. For them, they had never seen the officials and members of the Don Quixote family come together in such a density. I can't believe it. Are all the officials of the Don Quixote family here? Is this a battle to start? Look at the people in the middle, they seem to be the first emperor pirates. After the people of Dressrosa recognized Qin and his party, they all froze in their hearts. Looking at this, it seems that the first emperor pirates are going to fight the Don Quixote family. Those people who have not been turned into toys are naturally a little worried in their hearts. However, seeing the Don Quixote family with such a large force and the presence of top cadres such as Treble, their worries eased a little. But, different from the light side, all those who were turned into toys looked in the direction of the square, and while they were shocked, completely different emotions surged in their hearts. Turned into a toy by the sugar's fruit power, he has to do unsustainable work for the Don Quixote family every day, and he is unable to recognize his family and is forgotten by everyone. What they long for most in their hearts is that Doflamingo can be defeated, that they can restore their bodies and expose the darkness. Now, the appearance of the first Emperor Pirates seems to have brought a glimmer of light to this desire. Go and report to the captain of the soldiers, something big has happened. Can we win? The first Emperor Pirates. Compared with the ordinary people who were kept in the dark, those toys secretly acted after they got the news, and the whole Dressrosa was surging for a while. In a gladiatorial arena, a woman with long pink hair wears a helmet in the style of an ancient Roman soldier, a green cloak and golden shoes and boots. She is the granddaughter of the former King Riku, the arena hero Cyrus and the daughter of Princess Scarlet, Rebecca. At this moment, Rebecca put her hands together and prayed silently in her heart. The first Emperor Pirates must win. Although she and Qin did not know each other, and did not understand why the other party came to crusade against Doflamingo. But at this moment, Rebecca could only pray to God that she must win. ... You are wrong, Doflamingo. Luo stood behind Qin and slowly pulled out the demon sword, Ghost Cry, and said coldly, "The four of us, half a day, is enough to destroy you all. Don Quixote family is not terrible, and Doflamingo itself is not terrible. What matters is the secrets and cards that Doflamingo knows. Once touched, it will attract Marine and even the government. So once you have to deal with Doflamingo, you must kill in one hit." Hearing Luo's words, the smile on Doflamingo's face finally turned into a sneer. "It's quite arrogant, Luo, you brat. 5-color thread. Clang. Chapter 108 _ Clang. Qin drew his sword out of the sheath, and the white blade slashed the sword, easily blocking the 5 threads that were strong enough to cut steel. His eyes were calm, and even in the face of the huge power network of the Don Quixote family and the siege of the 3 CP0 team members, he did not show any fluctuations. Seeing Qin block his attack on Luo, Doflamingo grinned Isho, his smile full of evil and arrogance, and said, "Luo is the kid who has been fleeing from Don Quixote. Now I want to discipline my subordinates. It's not your turn to intervene." The moment the voice fell, Doflamingo slammed his fingers together, and countless threads gathered together, turning into a terrifying whip, and swept towards Qin. Super Strike Whip. Qin held the white blade expressionlessly, surrounded by a twisting force above the sword edge, and slashed against the extremely thick whip. Under the agitation of the twisting force, it was cut abruptly. "If you lose your generals, don't make a fuss." Qin stared at Doflamingo and spoke calmly. The moment the words fell, his entire body suddenly flashed, and he rushed towards Doflamingo 26. Get your hands on it. Almost at the moment Chin Luo made his move, Nami, Luo and Perona also made his move. Nami's expression was straight, the sky was overcast with clouds, and golden thunder and lightning appeared in the palm of her hand. With one blow, the ordinary soldiers of the Don Quixote family were wiped out by nearly 100 people. Immediately afterwards, Luo opened the room, switched positions instantly, and swung out a sword, which also cut dozens of Don Quixote family members into two sections. Then Perona shot, flickering like a shadow in the crowd. Dozens of people fell to the ground like dominoes one after another, blood splashing everywhere. So arrogant. Baby 5 Feet's right hand turned into a long sword, rushed forward with a cold face, came to Perona, and swung the sword sharply, collided with the blood-red umbrella in Perona's hand, and sparks flew in an instant. Immediately afterwards, the rest of the cadres also took action, flocking to Luo and Nami, and they were about to quickly defeat Nami and others with their absolute advantage in numbers and strength. At the same time, 3 CP0 team members rushed towards Chin Luo in unison, and launched a surprise attack on Chin Luo's back, ready to assist Doflamingo and quickly defeat Chin Luo. But almost as the figures flickered in the entire square, and when countless people from the Don Quixote family swarmed up, a thunder light suddenly fell from the sky. Whoa! The thunder stream like a waterfall descended from the sky, and the moment it fell to the ground, a dazzling thunder burst out, and all the hundreds of Don Quixote family soldiers in all directions were electrocuted. Thunder Festival. Nami snorted loudly. In an instant, 1,000 Zhong thunder light descended from the sky, and countless thunder and lightning gathered and swept toward the Don Quixote family. Crackling. The thick thunder and lightning swept out like a stream of water, and in almost an instant, hundreds of ordinary soldiers in front of the whole were wrapped in the lightning strike. Even a few officials of the Don Quixote family were caught off guard and were struck by lightning. Even if they used armament hockey to resist, they were still covered in scorch marks. Rey. Doflamingo frowned when he saw this scene from a distance. When did the woman around Chin Luo have such a strong lightning ability? Could it be a natural fruit? Guro Guro no mi, rumble rumble fruit. 3 CP0 members also flickered, but they didn't pay attention to them. Instead, they joined hands with cold eyes and continued to attack Chin Luo. Cut. Chin Luo was not afraid. He swung his sword with both hands, and threw it out, turning into a half-moon-shaped arc, and slashing at the CP0 members and Doflamingo at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. Under Chin Luo's blow, the members of CP0 and Doflamingo joined forces to deal with it, but they were still unable to withstand the blow head-on, and were respectively shaken back. And just when Chin Luo was fighting against 3, the battlefield in the distance changed once again. I saw Perona raise the blood-red umbrella and silently chanted a spell. There was no wind, and the fluttering black long hair was instantly transformed into silver-white long hair. It was actually the form of a female ghost swordsman. The evoker Tamo's attack. The silver light in the sky, like a stream of water, gathered in the field and turned into a giant made of silver-white steel. The giant held the giant sword in both hands and slashed. Boom. Under absolute power, even if there is no swordsmanship skills, it is still a sword to tear the ground of the square. Involved dozens of members of the Don Quixote family, and attacked the top cadre Torapal in a mighty manner. Torapal's complexion changed, and the slugs condensed into a wall shield, blocking him. Boom. The powerful attacks bombarded together, rippling cyclone ripples, and instantly stirred the stagnant battlefield, and the shocking momentum was transmitted to all directions, shaking the entire Dressrosa. Giants. Pika's sharp voice sounded, watching the members of the Don Quixote family have no resistance in front of this silver giant, and her eyes could not help showing anger. He didn't grow up all at once. Activate the fruit ability. In the surging earth, a stone giant stood up, reaching a height of hundreds of meters, even more than the silver giant. Go to hell. Pika made a sharp and unpleasant sound, controlled the fist of the huge stone man, and slammed the silver giant with a punch. As Perona waved the blood-red umbrella, the silver giant also moved, slashing the boulder with his fist. Pika also instantly condensed the rubble, returned to normal, looked in the direction of the silver giant, and pressed it down again with a palm. Boom! The giant's sword collided with the stone fist, and a thunderous roar was heard. The ground in the square shattered inch by inch, and countless members of the Don Quixote family flew out in the aftermath, with expressions of horror on their faces. This level of power is not something that ordinary members like them can intervene. Even the cadres such as Gladius had a gloomy expression on their faces at the moment, and they did not expect that the first Emperor Pirates would have such a powerful fighting force. Damn! Pika looked at the huge sand fist that blocked her, and there was anger in her eyes. Pika, the highest cadre of Don Quixote, you are just like that. Perona is frivolous Isho, and continues to use the ability of the female ghost swordsman, the devil. Chapter 109 _ As soon as the words fell, the silver light giant slashed as fast as a phantom, and one leg of the giant stone man was instantly chopped. The giant stone giant, who lost a leg, could not keep his body and fell to the left. Even if Pika tried her best to control it, she only shifted a little, and finally smashed part of Dressrosa's palace. Damn! Pika's angry and sharp voice sounded. The battle has turned to white hot. Doflamingo watched his subordinates fight fiercely with the first Emperor Pirates, with serious casualties. He couldn't help frowning together, his eyes were cold and said, I am a little underestimated to have such combat power in silence. You are here, Chin Luo. Perona and Pika contain and confront each other. Nami's thunder and lightning ability, one after another terrifying thunder current, is almost unstoppable wherever it goes. Even the cadres of the Don Quixote family can't resist the power of thunder. Must fight fast. Doflamingo took a deep breath, and a cold glow appeared in his eyes under the sunglasses. With a flash of his figure, he rushed towards Chin Luo and kicked in the air. Even though he lost last time, Doflamingo still has unparalleled confidence and can defeat Chin Luo this time. That's the positive effect Conqueror has brought him. Foot shave. Shigen, finger pistol, rampage. Rankyaku, tempest kick, Kai bird. At the same time, the three members of CP0 also took action one after another. All three are pure fighting technique powerhouses, and pure fighting technique powerhouses account for the vast majority of CP0. Facing the joint raid of the four, Chin Luo showed incredible speed, and his body suddenly retreated a foot. He escaped from the attack of the four, and then swept away with a backhand sword, and a scorching flame of sword intent blasted out from the front. Under Chin Luo's sword, the entire air in front of him showed a strange twist. The expressions of the four Doflamingo changed, and they all used their abilities to resist armament. But even so, under Chin Luo's blow, the four of them were still shaken back. Today's Chin Luo's attack power has truly reached the level of Marine Admiral. This guy's power, diaresis. Doflamingo's face became extremely gloomy. In this short confrontation, he had already judged Chin Luo's strength, which was stronger than when he met him before. Regardless of speed or attack, it is almost above him. And more importantly, the thread fruit is restrained by attributes in Chin Luo's flame. The silk thread that was originally incomparably sharp was burned to the ground in the fiery flame, unable to display the sharpness it should have. Whoosh! Chin Luo's eyes were as still as water, and he didn't intend to give Doflamingo a chance to think about countermeasures. His figure suddenly flickered, and he came to the top of Doflamingo and slashed with a sword. Not good. Doflamingo noticed the power of Chin Luo's sword, his face changed slightly, and he raised his hand to support him without hesitation. The cobweb wall. Countless silk threads were instantly intertwined into a large web, and a layer of dark armament hockey was condensed on his arm and the part of the spider web he touched. But even so, under Chin Luo's sword, the moment the entire cobweb wall was still touching, it showed a strange twist, like an ordinary spider web covering a bird. In the face of completely unequal power, it collapsed in an instant. Laugh. At the moment when the cobweb wall was broken, Doflamingo narrowly avoided it. That scorching sword energy fell on the ground, instantly cutting a crack hundreds of meters in length on the ground. Doflamingo was in distress. The three CP0 members immediately offered support, surrounded Qin Luo, and attacked. Qin Luo's expression remained unchanged, his left and right arms were slightly raised, and his elbows slammed toward the sides. Boom! A powerful force erupted toward both sides, and the air instantly turned into a vortex-like twist, slamming into the three CP0 members, sending them flying backwards. Doflamingo let out a low drink and slammed his hands together, and two extremely thick super strike whips attacked Qin Luo. But the white blade in Qin Luo's hands swept left and right at will. Laugh, laugh. Under Qin Luo's two fluttering swords, the two super strike whips that were enough to cut open a town were cut into two sections, one left and one right, fell to the ground and disappeared. Qin Luo held the sword in both hands and slashed at Doflamingo from a distance. Senbon Sakura, the sky of cherry blossoms bombarded the entire front. The spider's nest. Doflamingo stretched out his hands and displayed multiple cobweb walls. Hum. The moment the cherry blossoms fell, the multi-layered cobweb wall showed a terrifying depression, endured a tremendous force of impact, and reached its limit in half a second. Under the terrifying twisted depression, the cobweb threads were broken one by one, and finally collapsed completely. Doflamingo was blasted from the sky and crashed into the palace. Qin Luo ignored the three CP0 members and rushed directly to the palace. The only prey he cared about was Doflamingo. Diaresis, ruin. Qin Luo, who landed on the palace, did not rush into the broken palace, but slammed the palace with a fiery sword intent. Next moment. The shocking eyes of countless members of the Don Quixote family and the civilians of Dressrosa. The huge palace of Dressrosa was destroyed into a pile of dilapidated ruins. A shock. Damn. Doflamingo inside the palace, his arms were attached to the dark armament hockey, firmly supporting the walls on both sides, resisting the violent flames that kept attacking. Although he finally got out of it due to the entanglement of the three CP0 members. But at this moment, Doflamingo also clearly realized that the gap between himself and Qin Luo is so great. Boom, boom. Qin Luo repulsed the three members of CP0, Wang Haojiao, with two strikes, and once again rushed towards the ruins of the palace that had turned into a spiral shape like a twist. And almost immediately before he rushed to the ruins, Doflamingo didn't care so much, and awakened the power of the devil fruit. After losing to Qin Luo last time, Brother Ming has further studied the ability of the line fruit, striving to develop to the next level to the extreme. A strange force suddenly shrouded the entire ruins, and the ruins started from the bottom, turned into white threads one by one, and finally spread to the top. Is it only used now? Qin Luo looked at the ruins of the castle that had turned into countless white threads, and the corners of his mouth lifted Vivi. Doflamingo's strength is inferior to Marine Admiral in all aspects. Only by using Fruit Awakening can he be qualified to fight against Admiral, but it is only qualified to fight. If you don't use the fruit, you want to fight against him. Arabian Nights. Blow. Chapter 110 _ Doflamingo inside the castle looked very depressed. In just a short while, Qin Luo was forced to the point of Fruit Awakening, which seriously damaged his self-confidence. Only by defeating Qin Luo can he be restored. Wild waves and white lines. But for a moment, Doflamingo, who has a heroic temperament, will naturally not be immersed in depression, but will be murderous, and will kill Qin Luo here. Under his control, the ruins of the castle, which had turned into white silk threads, instantly wrapped around Qin Luo. The endless white silk threads seemed to be transformed into waves, surging wildly. Use this trick. Pika, who was fighting with the silver giant, and other cadres who were fighting fiercely, watched this scene with flickering eyes. No one would have imagined that Qin Luo's strength would be so strong, forcing Doflamingo to use the trump card of Devil Fruit Awakening. The first Emperor Qin-Luo is really not a dude with a vain reputation, but since Dover used the Devil Fruit to awaken, it should be enough to turn the situation around. In the underground port, a person with special abilities, Sugar, was holding a basket of grapes. Looking at the picture projected by the video phone bug, he said, "Master Doflamingo, you will definitely not fail." Sugar didn't even notice. In the darkness dozens of meters away, a tall figure was hiding in the darkness. "Anything a concubine does, she will be forgiven." Ellipsis. Soul-thirsty demon ceiling/Burzee warrior. Facing the incoming white silk thread, Qin-Luo clenched the hilt with 5 fingers, and the power of burning magma spread all over his body, condensed on the hilt, and slammed down with a sword. Laugh. The power of the magma split the surging white silk thread into 2 halves from the center, all the way to the ground, and cut a crack hundreds of meters long. The first half of the white silk thread stopped in the air, was burned into ashes, and the cold wind blew through, turned into ashes, and collapsed. But in the next instant, it regrouped and bombarded Qin-Luo again, already possessing the power to fight. For the thread fruit, awakening means qualitative change. Looking at the white wave, Qin-Luo's eyes flickered, and he put the white blade day into the scabbard, and the whole person swooped down abruptly. Switched to the form of the blazing feather flame phoenix vermilion bird. A golden-red flame surged around him, and the wings of the vermilion bird seemed to emerge behind him, slamming into the white waves. Cracking the ground. Boom, boom, boom. The flames fell from the sky, as if a group of demons danced wildly, and the silk threads continued to explode and gather. Inside the ruined castle line, which was affected by the string line fruit, there were constant bursts of dull roars, like a bee flying into the airtight flower bones, constantly colliding back and forth. 3 CP0 members stopped for a while. In about half a minute, the roaring sound stopped, and the white line wave suddenly exploded. I saw Doflamingo's figure flying upside down from the white line, and a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. Whoosh! Qin-Luo's figure followed closely behind, rushing out of the restored castle ruins and continuing to attack Doflamingo. Before rushing to the front, he directly punched out. Doflamingo unleashes the wall of spiders, removing some of the power of fire. The back smashed into a building, and the line fruit ability was activated, turning the building into a white line and continuing to attack Qin-Luo. Not far away, the 3 CP0 members saw that Doflamingo showed special power, and was still not Qin-Luo's opponent. At this moment, the news that Dressrosa was in chaos and it was completely reduced to a battlefield had already been passed on to Marine headquarters. Listening to the report on the battlefield over there, Sengoku rubbed his eyebrows with a headache. If he had been more decisive and sent Akainu to the islands of Sabayati to join forces with Kizaru and Kuzan, perhaps Qin-Luo's trouble would not have arisen. But in this case, then there will be no such thing as Qin-Luo defeating Golden Lion Shiki. You must know that the danger level of Golden Lion Shiki is also quite high in the reward of Marine headquarters. It is said that CGAC Golden Lion Shiki is still researching special drugs, ready to destroy Marine and dominate the sea. Sengoku shook his head. Since it had already happened, regret was useless. Although Doflamingo is also garbage at sea, he is Shichibukai, the king who signed an agreement with the government, and cannot be defeated by Qin-Luo just like that. Although they are all pirates, no matter how dark the existence of Doflamingo is, at least on the bright side, it is beneficial to the balance of the sea. And Qin-Luo not only killed the world noble Tenryubito, but also made a mess of the sea, causing the government and marine to lose face countless times. No matter what, Qin-Luo must not continue to sail. Dressrosa, on the battlefield. Shield white line. Doflamingo waved his hands, and the ground surged with white tides like waves, blocking Qin-Luo's fist. Boom. The fist fell, and the line wave twisted and collapsed. Doflamingo folded his arms in front of him, displayed armament hockey, resisted the aftermath of the burning force, and then picked up his fingers, and the silk thread behind Qin slammed around him. Originally, those with the ability to line the fruit were very good at aerial combat, but in front of Qin, aerial combat was obviously a stupid tactic. After Doflamingo realized that Qin aerial speed was faster than him, he completely gave up aerial combat and turned to relying on awakened forces conduct ground battles. Iron Punch. The CP0 members snorted coldly, and slammed their fists at Qin. The powerful fists blasted a wind pressure, turned into huge fists, and attacked Qin back. Qin waved his hand to break up Doflamingo's entanglement, and then pushed out with a palm, breaking the CP0 member's long-range punch, and then continued to attack Doflamingo. Now there is only one CP0 member left to fight against him, and the other two CPO members have been reduced to ashes by the burning of the Flaming Phoenix and the Vermilion Bird just now. The other side. Many cadres and top cadres of the Don Quixote family joined forces to stop Nami, Perona, and Luo's offensive. However, in terms of numbers, the situation is gradually turning in the direction of the Don Quixote family. Being able to have such a strong combat power is indeed beyond my expectations, but my subordinates don't eat rice, either. Doflamingo and the only remaining CP0 member dealt with Qin, obviously at a disadvantage, and this was under the circumstance that Qin did not use his real strength. He could only try to influence Qin mind, to delay time and wait for Marine Admiral's response. Attack. However, at this moment, Qin has an evil smile on his lips. Qingluan Kai Yu Kill. His whole person is like a miniature version of the shadow of the Vermilion Bird, rampant, and everywhere he goes, there are fires and fires. Even the white line of the awakening shield that Doflamingo used with all his strength could only block it a little. Chapter 111 Hum. Blazing fire, cast out, briefly affecting Doflamingo. Qin fist was like Suzaku's sharp claws, extremely sharp, and he punched out, breaking the white line of the shield and sending Doflamingo, who was caught off guard, flying backwards. This blow almost stopped Doflamingo's weird laughter halfway, causing his pink feathers to collapse, and a little blood spilled from his mouth again. Your laugh is ugly, so don't laugh. Qin withdrew his fist indifferently, pierced through the chest of the CP0 member with a backhand, and interfered with a boring sneak attack. Let's go to hell. After successfully killing 3 CP0 members, Qin turned into fire again and rushed towards Doflamingo. Doflamingo's face turned black, with a faint hint of anger, and he waved his hands violently. Countless silk threads converged and turned into 10 extremely thick thorns, and the tip was condensed with a dark purple armament hockey. Don't be too arrogant. Holy bullet. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The holy murderous bullet that condensed the terrifying penetrations shot out instantly, stabbed towards Qin, and shrouded all Qin dodging range. Burn the evil and punish the evil. Qin was not afraid, and took a step forward. The fire of the Vermilion Bird was aroused, and the white line was burned to the ground in an instant. The battle continues. And just when Doflamingo gathered his mind and planned to fight Qin with all his strength, a strange force suddenly swayed from the ground of Don Quixote, and spread to the entire island in an instant. Underground factory. Empress Hancock stood there proudly, and not far away was Sugar, who was foaming at the mouth and fainted on the ground. In fact, Qin plan was to contact Hancock, let him destroy the power of the Dressrosa underground factory, and let it be made public. As Qin thought, everything was expected. Doflamingo didn't even know when Hancock, who was Shichibukai under the king, got in touch with Qin. Once the underground factory is announced, the trouble will be big. Dressrosa, the country of pirates, or the country of toys, has always been a symbol of light, and it is also an item of government support for the legal plunder of King Shichibukai, which can suppress the achievements of all fishing reels. But once the darkness hidden under the light is exposed, this so-called political achievement will turn into a huge scandal, which will not only destroy the status of Shichibukai under King Doflamingo in an instant, but also seriously damage the prestige of the government. On the ground. The strange power that poured out after Shatang's coma didn't have any effect on Qin-Luo and the others, but it made all the human beings that changed into toys and forgotten one by one return to their original shape. What's the matter? Doflamingo observation Haki noticed this, and his expression changed instantly. The other Don Quixote officials noticed the changes on the island, and they also showed a strange color. All the existences that have been turned into toys will disappear, and all their memories will disappear. Sugar can be said to be the existence hidden in the deepest part of the Don Quixote family. It seems that my people don't eat plain rice either. Qin-Luo spoke calmly and repeated what Doflamingo said not long ago. Doflamingo suddenly turned his head and looked at Qin-Luo. The pupils under the sunglasses contracted violently, his face became extremely ugly, and his heart was extremely shaken. In this case, there is no doubt that it is a sugar accident. For the sake of safety, he deliberately kept Shatang from showing up, but Qin-Luo still kept his hand. But how did Qin-Luo know the secret of the sugar? Doflamingo is no longer as calm as he used to be. Once sugar happens, Dressrosa's shady story will be exposed to the whole world in an instant. The influence of that kind of fishing boat will put the government under great pressure and will definitely cancel his Shichibukai status. The resulting series of consequences are almost unimaginable. Never let all this be exposed. Doflamingo gritted his teeth in his heart, his face became extremely depressed, his thoughts flashed quickly, and finally revealed a touch of decisiveness. Even if this island is completely destroyed and everyone is wiped out, the shady scene of the country of toys cannot be exposed to the whole world. Bird cage. While blocking Qin-Luo's attack, he suddenly opened his hand and lifted it towards the sky. A bunch of white threads surged up from the earth in an instant, gathered towards the sky, and then divided into countless threads, covering the entire island like an umbrella. Bird cage. Qin-Luo looked up at the sky, at the birdcage that enveloped the entire Dressrosa, and there was an untraceable ray of light in the depths of his eyes. Everything, including this step so far, has gone according to his expectations perfectly. Killing Doflamingo is only one of the purposes of this trip, and the other purpose is to let the government and Marine know. What price will he pay for forcing him to be a pirate? Almost at the moment when the bird cage enveloped the entire Dressrosa, a small boat had been docked on the shore of Dressrosa, and several figures came out. It's finally starting. The first Emperor Qin-Luo is too terrifying, even such a situation can be expected. As a big newsman in the pirate world, Morgans received a phone call from Qin-Luo an hour ago. At that time, he was shocked and learned of Qin-Luo's plan. Morgan's eyes lit up. If it was true as Qin-Luo said, this was a piece of news that shocked the world. How could he miss it? Time to work. At the next moment, Morgans also deliberately asked his subordinates to prepare multiple omnidirectional video camera bugs, running along the edge of Dressrosa. The birdcage is able to cut off all radio communication inside the island, which is Doflamingo's last resort to cover everything, but it has one problem, that is, it has no effect on the outside of the island. Just when the camcorder bug of several people started working, at the same time, blinking images from all over the world began to spread all over the world. That happened in Dressrosa was projected live. Even on some islands with special screens, Qin-Luo even asked Hancock to send a team to secretly set up reception signals on the islands of Sabayati and many islands, directly banning the original signals on those screens, and instantly switched to Dressrosa's broadcast perspective. Look, what is that? What a strange image, this. What is this? Many civilians saw the image, and it was strange at first, and soon they saw countless scenes of hacking and fighting on the streets inside the birdcage-like island. Those who turned from toys back to human beings included ordinary civilians, scouts from various forces, and even members of the Revolutionary Army, Marine and the government. At this moment, they were all in chaos and fighting. There seems to be Dressrosa. That country of toys. How could it become like this? Countless people looked at the projected picture with disbelief on their faces. The country that was full of sunshine, which had been published countless times in newspapers, turned into such a hell. One stone creates 1,000 waves. Almost in a matter of minutes, these projections began to spread around the world. This time the scope of the spread is too wide, and by the time the world government reacts, it will be too late. Is this the so-called country of passion and excitement? The one that develops extremely fast and builds the perfect country of pirates? 2. Chapter-101-120 God. What the hell are the government and Marine doing? Countless people clenched their fists, some showed anger, some showed fear, and some looked at a loss. This influence is spreading to the whole world. ... Marine headquarters. Damn. Sengoku looked at the transferred picture, slapped one on the table, smashed the table, and roared angrily, "Who can tell me what the hell that scum Doflamingo is doing? Akainu has enter you there." Gorosei, 5 elders, the highest level of the world government, also became extremely ugly. This kind of picture was broadcasted to the whole world. It was like stepping on the ground and crushing a few feet hard for the government's face. Doflamingo is destroyed, and even Qin Luo is twice as powerful, but it is still not comparable to the power of the 4 emperors, and it is still nothing in the eyes of Gorosei, 5 elders. But the impact of such a bad incident is unprecedented, almost the worst since they came to power. Bad situation. The loss caused cannot be measured by things like combat power. No one thought that such a bad situation would happen to Dressrosa, let alone Qin Luo, who would broadcast all this to the world in a live broadcast. How to deal with the aftermath? The 5 people almost immediately began to think about how to deal with the aftermath, but such a bad incident that has spread to such a wide range is simply not something that can deceive the public by making up a few lies. Idiot, why don't you cut off the signal? 5. Lord Gorosei, 5 elders, this is broadcast on many islands at the same time, there is no time to cut them all at once. The officials of Mariajoy spoke anxiously. Gorosei, 5 elders gritted his teeth and said, "Then cut off one by one, let Marine also dispatch, and be sure to keep the impact within the minimum range." At this moment, the rebroadcasted picture began to get worse and worse. Doflamingo's attempt to slaughter the entire island to cover up the truth has been fully exposed, and even Vice Admiral Virgo, the traitor representing Marine's side, is assisting Doflamingo in the bloody slaughter. Let Doflamingo and Marine stop for now. No, there's no signal, so I can't reach them at all. Doflamingo's birdcage now completely isolates the interior of Dressrosa, making them unable to listen to government orders and signals, and have no idea that everything is being broadcast around the world. They still know nothing of the bloody slaughter. At this moment, an official rushed over with a flustered face and said, "No, the broadcast was also found on Kur Island. And Nikat Island." What? Gorosei, 5 elders, complexion changed. It had been almost 10 minutes since the incident broke out. As a result, the broadcast has not been disconnected, but more and more. It's the Revolutionary Army, a bunch of bastards. There were openings for the Mariajoy high-level gritted teeth. At this time, not only the Revolutionary Army, but those who were oppressed by the government and hated the government, all keenly seized the opportunity. Why not do something like this that doesn't require hard work to cause heavy damage to the government? In just a short while, the scope of the broadcast has not only failed to be contained, but has become larger and larger, spreading to the whole world, and it can no longer be suppressed. The entire Dressrosa battlefield was placed in front of the world. For the whole world. Inside the bird cage. Apart from Qin Luo and Hancock, even Nami didn't know what happened, let alone Doflamingo and others. "I don't know where you got the information and the secret of Dressrosa, Qin Luo. But since that's the case, we can only bury this island completely." Doflamingo opened his mouth coldly and waved his hands violently. The whole street turned into countless white threads, swept towards Qin Luo frantically. Boom! Qin Luo was suspended in midair, and with a backhand wave, the white silk thread was disrupted by the power of the vermilion bird. It's almost time. Don't tell Doflamingo what happened, because Qin Luo doesn't care about all the enemies on this island now. The goal he wanted has been achieved. This dark shady scene, a wave that spreads all over the world, hit the world government and marine fiercely in the face. Since he claims to be righteous, then the dark side of this so-called justice will be completely open. Zhu Xiao Fengming. Qin Luo's eyes flickered, and with a cold drink, the golden red wings spread out behind him, like a giant shadow of a flaming vermilion bird. Ang! In an instant, a violent hissing sound exploded in Doflamingo's ear, causing his eardrums to hum at the same time and his head dizzy. Qin Luo swooped down towards Doflamingo, and before anyone arrived, his fists were like the claws of a vermilion bird, wrapped in fiery flames, and fell from midair. Hum! The air was bombarded out of the twisted shape of the fist and slammed down. Under the influence of the blazing fire, Doflamingo has difficulty controlling the ability of the line to awaken. Facing Qin Luo's attack, he couldn't use the shield white line to defend against it. He could only put his arms on top of his head and use armament hockey to try to resist Qin Luo's attack. But armament alone, he can't even resist Luffy's fourth gear, and Qin Luo's current attack power is comparable to that of the Four Emperors Kaido. And Kaido can make Luffy go to the west with a thunderous 8 gusts. Fun words. Kaido scratched his ears. What kind of king did you say you wanted to be? Luffy, I'm going to be a pirate. Crackle. Oh. Boom. The ground beneath Doflamingo's feet suddenly collapsed, as if the sand pile was hit by a huge fist, and a huge punch was slammed with one punch. Blood spurted out of his mouth, and his entire body was slightly twisted and deformed, smashing to the bottom of the pit with a bang. Damn. Gladius sensed the crisis and tried to rush over to help, but was forcibly stopped by Cyrus, who had dashed out of the darkness and had turned from a toy back into a human form. Senor Peak, Mabais, Dellinger and other family officials tried to rush over, but were attacked by Nami and Luo, contained in the air, unable to escape Nami's thunder and lightning pursuit. As for Virgo and others, they are all farther away and have no time to support. Cough, cough. At the bottom of the pit, Doflamingo's sunglasses showed signs of shattering. He coughed violently, and blood kept pouring out of his mouth. Qin Luo's strength made Doflamingo feel the despair of facing Kaido of the beasts again. He couldn't understand why this guy's strength was so strong and his abilities were constantly changing. He was not an opponent at all. Shield white line. Looking at Qin Luo's figure swooping down from the sky, Doflamingo took a strong breath, displayed the shield white line, and at the same time inspired the spider's nest, double defense to resist Qin Luo's attack. At the same time, he used the ability of thread and thread fruit to try to repair his injuries, and temporarily restrain and replace his twisted muscles and muscles with threads. Boom, boom. Qin Luo's fist that wrapped Suzaku's flames fell, and the shield white line collapsed in half, and another punch fell, the shield white line completely collapsed, and then a foot fell, and the countless spider webs in the spider's nest showed a terrifying twist. It dented toward the bottom of the pit, and then snapped off one by one. Whoosh! Doflamingo grabbed his fingers, and the thread cut through the nearby ground and flew up from one side, towards the far side. Fleeing and fleeing, the speed was maximized. Qin Luo's observation hockey had already sensed Doflamingo's escape, but followed him with a calm expression, chasing him all the way. Doflamingo's level character is easy to defeat, but not so easy to kill completely. If he wants to escape, Marine Admiral may not be able to chase him to death. But now that he is inside the birdcage, and since he has been injured, Qin Luo's airspeed is not inferior to his. Where can he escape when he does not have all the conditions for escape? That's Doflamingo. And the first Emperor Qin Luo. The civilians of Dressrosa saw Doflamingo fleeing frantically in the sky, constantly using strings to implicate Qin Luo, trying to get rid of Doflamingo who was chasing. And unstoppable in the rear, any spider web thread wherever he goes is Qin Luo, who is defeated in one blow. By this time, everyone has already known the truth behind Dressrosa. The original popular Doflamingo has become the embodiment of evil and darkness. Chapter 113 _ Kill Doflamingo. Quickly end this. Janao Qin Luo, always drop God. It seems that something is not right. Looking at the approaching birdcage, many civilians were angry, crying, and praying. Has been nearly an hour since Qin Luo and his party boarded Dressrosa and fought against the Don Quixote family. In the end, Doflamingo has fallen into a complete collapse, and the Don Quixote family is also in a state of collapse. If you want to escape, you have to remove the bird cage, but if you remove the bird cage, everything here will be made public, and you will lose the Don Quixote family and all your status. Qin Luo scorned Isho and laughed deliberately. Doflamingo is also very aware of the current situation, and is constantly gritting his teeth in his heart. He didn't expect Qin Luo to force him to this level, but in his opinion, there is still hope for everything. As long as Marine Admiral arrives in time. Seeing that the words could hardly affect Doflamingo, Qin Luo stopped opening 26 words and prepared to end this boring battle. A fire of Suzaku blasted past, accurate, and hit Doflamingo's back. Doflamingo stumbled in the air, spit out a mouthful of blood again, and flew forward. After hitting a building, he forcibly changed his direction and continued to escape. Whoosh! Tooth of fire. The fiery flame turned into a sharp blade. Qin Luo moved his thoughts and slashed towards Doflamingo. The defense of the white thread spider web was instantly annihilated and burned, and slammed into Doflamingo's back. Boom! Doflamingo's whole body slammed forward, and another big mouthful of blood spurted out. This time, he was finally unable to escape, and his whole body staggered and fell to the side. At this time, Doflamingo just fell on the edge of the birdcage, and the center of the birdcage was also shrinking here. He barely stumbled to the ground. But just when he landed, the inadvertent glance made him stunned, because the birdcage had been shrunk by a large circle, and the remaining space was not large. And just outside the birdcage, he saw a figure with a phone bug in his hand, recording something in this direction. Doflamingo was stunned. He is a man of strategy and calculation, and almost instantly, a terrifying thought appeared in his mind. Could it be that everything about Dressrosa is being broadcast live? Qin Luo slowly landed behind Doflamingo, glanced outside the birdcage. Morgans, who was holding a camcorder, turned his gaze back to Doflamingo. Doflamingo's expression was stiff, and he turned his head little by little to look at Qin Luo. Everything is silent. If he had completely lost the chance to escape from the beginning until just now, he would have no fear of Qin Luo. Then, after realizing everything about Dressrosa, it was actually recorded by the camera phone bug outside the birdcage. A trace of fear finally rose in Doflamingo's heart. How so? This is not a difference in strength, but it seems that every step he takes has been seen by Qin Luo from head to toe, and even all of them have become Qin Luo's further designs. It's as if you found out in the process of playing with your opponent that every move you made was designed by the opponent, and everything from the beginning to the end was in the calculation of the opponent. Doflamingo's body was stiff and his heart was cold. For him, who asked himself to be a strategist, the only person who could make him feel this way was the Chief of Staff of Marine Headquarters, Crane. That's why he would turn his head away every time he saw Crane. Because of several confrontations, almost all of them were eaten by cranes, and every step was accurately predicted by the opponent. And now, there is one more such person, and that is Qin Luo in front of him. It seems that you have discovered something. Unfortunately, you are almost here, and it is time to contribute your final role. Qin Luo looked at Doflamingo calmly, stepped forward, surrounded by flames. His arms were in the shape of a knife, and he slanted towards Doflamingo. Doflamingo has lost the ability to resist. Laugh. This hand knife wrapped in hot flames instantly cut off Doflamingo's head, rolled and fell to the ground not far away, and the pair of sunglasses also shattered. Your Majesty Shichibukai, Heavenly Yaksha, Doflamingo, has been successfully killed to reveal Dressrosa's dark side to the public for a reward, the art of multiple shadows. Ding! Trigger the new main quest, get 4 historical texts of road signs, arrive at Laugh Tale, get the reward, the key to the plane. Hearing the system sound coming from his ear, Chinluo breathed a sigh of relief. With the death of Doflamingo, the birdcage covering the entire Dressrosa quickly collapsed, and the scene was clearly broadcast to all parts of the world. However, the new task made Chinluo curious and was about to check it out. Morgans watched the birdcage dissipate, and took the camcorder and flew closer to Chinluo. Chinluo saw Morgans approaching and looked at the camera phone bug. He knew that the footage recorded by the phone bug should be broadcast live to the world. He looked calm. Everything about Dressrosa, you should know. But what I want to say is that I'm not the Virgin of the Redeemer. I just don't like the faces of some people, so let's make the darkness public. That's all. Leaving such a sentence, Chinluo turned around and disappeared into the ruined street. Instead of shutting down the camcorder bug, Morgans and the others looked at the ruins of Dressrosa. I found a few good locations on the ruins, fixed the camera phone bug, and continued to record Dressrosa's follow-up battle. On the chaotic battlefield in front of the royal palace, wearing the suit of the Vice Admiral of the Marine Branch Virgo of Yida Cloak looked at the birdcage that disappeared in the sky, and his heart suddenly sank. He knew what the disappearance of the birdcage meant. And at this moment, the phone bug on his body rang. In silence, I answered the phone bug, and on the other side came the cold, suppressed anger that was like a volcano eruption. You know what stupid thing you did? Virgo Vice Admiral. Quote. After Virgo heard the news from the other side of the phone bug, his head to toe instantly went cold. Even if Doflamingo is defeated, as long as people are still alive, with the identity of the original Tenryubito and the trading core of the Dark World, there is still a chance to make a comeback. But if everything that happened in Dressrosa is made public, then Doflamingo will be completely over. Such a bad incident is completely unbearable for the government. With the government's behavior, it will definitely shirk the matter and put it all on Doflamingo, in order to save the government's face as much as possible. It's over. Virgo froze in place, knowing that this time was over. Dressrosa's battle is still going on. Chinluo spent almost 1/3 of his physical strength in the battle with Doflamingo. After killing Doflamingo, Chinluo participated in the annihilation of the Don Quixote family. Laugh. Corona's blood-red umbrella pierced through Torapal's heart. Chapter 114 _ The Other Side. The remaining members of the Don Quixote family were completely unable to resist Nami and Luo's offensive, not to mention Chinluo's annihilation. Almost in a short period of time, the remaining Don Quixote members were only 2 or 3 big cats and kittens, and the cadres were basically killed and injured. Whoosh! Chinluo's figure flashed by, and the white blade in his hand quickly cut across Pika's rock giant. Observation Hockey accurately captured the location of its entity and killed it with one strike. With Pika's death, the Don Quixote family was completely destroyed. Huh! Luo Vivi breathed a sigh of relief. He suffered a lot of injuries. He is not as strong as he was 2 years later. After using the Operation Fruit ability a few times, you will feel that your physical strength drops rapidly. Moreover, the cadres and top cadres of the Don Quixote family still have a certain level of strength. After Luo confirmed Doflamingo's death, the hatred in his heart finally dissipated. I was a little confused. Once you've accomplished what you've always wanted to accomplish, you'll feel overwhelmed as to what to do next. Chinluo. Just after Chinluo solved Pika, Hancock walked out of the ruins, Yan ran Isho, and his eyes were full of love for Chinluo. Well done. No, this is what a concubine should do. Hancock blushed immediately, turned around, and looked shy, as if he was being praised by his lover. Now that Doflamingo is dead, it's time for us to go. Chin Luo immediately issued an order to retreat, and the group quickly retreated towards the area where the boat was located. After all, Marine sent a large number of troops. He doesn't care. But Nami and the three had a lot of physical exhaustion after fighting with the Don Quixote family, and it was obviously not a wise thing to stay in the fight. But when the group of people crossed the ruined street and quickly retreated towards the coast, something that Chin Luo expected, but not a good thing happened. The bright red fire cut through the sky, from the shore of Dressrosa, at an incredible speed, shuttled through the ruins of Dressrosa, chasing after him. Marine Headquarters Admiral, Akainu. Akainu has many tattoos on his body, a sword on his right arm, roses and cherry blossoms on his left chest and elbow, wearing a corsage roses, a dark red suit, a marine cap on his head, and black leather gloves on his hands. Behind him is a Marine Admiral coat. You go first, Diaresis. Seeing the flame chasing after him, Chin Luo's expression did not change. Then we will withdraw first, Master, be careful. Nami and others are very aware of the gap between them and Marine Admiral, and now is not the time to play against Marine Admiral. Except for Chin Luo, everyone else has been injured, and their physical strength is also very serious. They can't support the second battle for the time being. Whoosh! Akainu tried to go directly in front of everyone and stop everyone, but Chin Luo flashed. Observation Haki caught Akainu in advance and blocked Akainu. The first Emperor Pirates, Chin Luo. Akainu, who was stopped, had a scar on his right face and a fierce look, smoking a cigar and shouting indifferently. Kill Tenryubito. Kill Shichibukai Doflamingo. Broadcast Dressrosa events to the world. This thing is getting worse and worse, not to mention him. Even Sengoku will be severely reprimanded by the Gorosei, 5 elders, and he has to take some responsibility. Chin Luo looked at Akainu and said calmly, Admiral Akainu, I heard that you were Marine Admiral's strongest fighting force. Let me see it, but don't be careless, or tomorrow's news, but Marine Admiral only has 1 or 2 left. Then it's time to ask you, the people who make me toss like this are you Marine and the government. I just want to be an ordinary pirate hunter. Little devil, don't be too arrogant. When Akainu heard this, his face was gloomy. Before the words were finished, Chin Luo had already launched an attack. The art of multiple shadow clones. As Chin Luo's thoughts moved, hundreds of avatars appeared around his body, all of which were lay avatars. Akainu's pupils stared, and he still didn't understand what was going on. In an instant, a lay clone appeared around his body. All are Chin Luo's shadow, and it is difficult to distinguish the true from the false. At this moment, there seemed to be a cloud of thunder and lightning between the sky and the earth. Thunder's bombardment, lightning and thunder, covered Chin Luo's breath. Therefore, Akainu's observation Haki could not lock Chin Luo's body according to his breath. Suzaku's wings appeared behind him, accompanied by Chin Luo's body movement, the vast void. The endless Chin Luo figure involved Akainu in it, dazzled. Akainu's body is burning with flames to prevent Chin Luo's attack. Diaresis, Devil May Cry. Ghost/_furious. Chin Luo held the white blade day, clenched his hands tightly, and waved a sword like a wolf like a tiger. This sword chi whistled and the cold wind made people feel chills down their spines. Great Major Eruption. With a fury, Akainu attacked with a huge lava fist, simulating the impact of a volcanic eruption. This powerful power is enough to smash and evaporate an iceberg in an instant. Bang! A loud bang and the entire Dressrosa moved. Chin Luo's sword chi shattered under Akainu's attack. But almost at the same time, the light of thunder has already shone in this area. Boom! Chin Luo's armor of escaping, walking around the whole body, the purple light shines in the sky, and the thunder dragon blooms. A note of Lakey, the incarnation of thunder dragon's bite erupted again, like thousands of thunder dragons killing Akainu. At this time, Akainu the kings couldn't help but have a heavy face, how can this damn pirate have such strange abilities? But the name of Akainu, Admiral, the owner of the molten fruit, is not good. The endless magma turned into fireballs and gathered around Akainu's body. His whole person seemed to be wrapped in magma, burning everything, and the real thunder dragon bite came and slammed on the magma. Terrible thunder power and magma flames are intertwined. Akainu jumped into the sky, trying to get out of Chin Luo's lightning area. Chin Luo didn't allow him to go out at all. The endless thunder and lightning rolled towards his body like small silver snakes. At the same time, the white blade in Chin Luo's hand flashed a dazzling luster, and countless sword chi blasted towards Akainu. Akainu is trapped in the thunder cage, and can only take defensive measures, unable to actively attack Roar. Admiral Akainu was actually suppressed by Chin Luo. Chapter 115 _ A large wave of marine soldiers in front stared at the battlefield. Their faces were extremely heavy. They thought that Marine Admiral Akainu could easily solve Chin Luo, but they didn't expect it. An admiral really couldn't take Chin Luo down. He hoped that the follow-up support from Marine headquarters would come sooner. At this moment, in the battlefield, Akainu was restrained everywhere, and his face was extremely ugly. Then he stopped the thought of rushing out. The endless magma gathered in his body, and the magma and the body blended together. Fire-red skin appeared on his body, which was a magma stone. Akainu seems to be turning into a magma giant and keeps getting bigger. Soon, a magma giant with a height of 100 meters appeared, with terrifying flames burning on its body. The eyes of the magma giant were the eyes of Akainu. He was not resisting, and let Chin Luo's thunder fall on his body. Let the magma giant vibrate, constantly destroying the rock skin on his body, but it can't hurt him. The broken rock skin was actually one after another of magma, and soon it returned to its original state, like an immortal existence. Dog-biting Crimson Lotus. Akainu roared, turning his lava arm into the shape of a dog's head, and his raised palm swept across everything, trying to cover the entire void. Ghost Swordsman Sword Soul, breaking the army and slaying the dragon strike. Smashing the army and slaying the dragon strike. Repel the enemy with a dash and then levitate the enemy and make them enter a stun state. After the enemy floats in the air, the caster will quickly turn around and stab the enemy with the sword, gather the stabbed enemies together and issue an upward attack to make the enemy float. With the white blade in hand, I have the world. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Suddenly, the sword light flickered, the sword shadows, the main feature of the sword soul is fast, fast, fast. Come on, even until you have no room to fight back. Puff puff. Akainu frowned, and the silver light flickered in front of him. The arms and legs of the magma giant were cut off in an instant. Restoring again, cutting off again, the speed of restoration is not as fast as Chin Luo's sword. Maintaining the magma giant all the time, Akainu's stamina is also exhausted very quickly. Don't fight for a long time. Meteor Volcano. Akainu stood proudly in the sky. He watched thousands of magma melt into his body. At this moment, the gap of his huge rock body seemed to be burning with endless magma fire, spewing out. The two fists produce a large number of huge lava fists, CGAC, in the form of lava, like the magma of the meteor shower falling continuously, turning the earth into a sea of lava and fire. His huge rock palms stretched out, and an extremely terrifying king's intention swayed up, trying to pierce the sky. The outstretched palms clenched suddenly, and he shouted angrily towards the void. The endless flame boulders between heaven and earth fell from the sky, covering the entire void. Bang, bang. In one direction, the magma meteorite collapsed and shattered. Immediately, Akainu's eyes turned towards that direction, looking at a place in Reikage's figure. Only the place where the real body is, can really have the attack power. Akainu's meteor volcano, the magma shone brightly, like shooting stars, rapidly blasting towards Chin Luo. Lava was constantly covering Chin Luo's body on the surface, trying to bury him in this space. Berserker. I saw the chi meridians and the 8 extraordinary meridians in Qin Luo's body, and there seemed to be thousands of swords, and shadows behind them. Heart palpitating, timid, and dare not have the courage to fight against it. At this moment, it seems that heaven and earth have stopped, and the sound has completely disappeared. In the sky and the ground, there is only that power left, the power of a strange sword. When this power reached a wonderful resonance with Qin Luo's breathing, Qin Luo's long hair rose without wind, and his eyes suddenly burst into a soul-stirring divine light. What a strong attack! Everyone looked at Qin Luo's sword energy, the wonderful rhythm, full of beauty of power. Break the mountains and the ground. The sword skill of DNF Berserker has a high-output multi-stage attack and a wide-range effect, and also has a short-term invincibility when landing, which can be said to be one of the best skills. Raise your sword, slash. This sword, as if it was shot down violently by heavy rain, with the power to smash everything, slashed out more than 20 meters of air, and slashed towards Akainu's meteor volcano. Boom! With the accumulation of magma and the continuous ashes, the meteor volcano of Akainu arrives. Covering the sky and the sun, the endless terrifying pressure was like a cage of heaven and earth, burying Qin Luo's body in it. At this moment, Qin Luo gave birth to an illusion. Within the sword domain, it was like the King of Swords, with a giant sword erected behind him. Qin Luo just glanced at it, his heart was like still water, and the sword chi waved out, like a ghost crying, roaring in a mad battle. Long Yin shook the sky, the universe was turbulent, and he wanted to split the sky. Boom! A terrifying explosion sounded. Akainu's meteor volcano was split from the middle by Qin Luo's sword energy. The magma burst frantically, but the same extremely powerful force vibrated on Qin Luo's white blade day, passed to his arm, and then his body was shaken back. Akainu's eyes were extremely terrifying, staring at Qin Luo. The magma rolled in his hands, the magma in the ground gathered around his body, and the magma meteorite fell downward. Dark Hound. Akainu first turned his hands into lava, and then quickly ejected the magma in the form of his grasp, and blasted away at the place where Qin Luo was. Cut. Qin Luo's aura became even more tyrannical, when he attacked him. He slashed out with a sword and swept across the universe. A line appeared between the heavens and the earth, and where the swept away, the magma meteorites all shattered and burst. Ujian comes by the wind, destroying the world of demons. With a flash of silver light, a sword flew over, and a person was sitting on the flying sword. Qin Luo's eyes were concealed by the electric light, his bearing was calm, and he sat there with the style of a generation of grandmasters. Cut. Qin Luo's voice was desolate, but he contained a burning will to fight. He raised the divine sword in his hand and pointed at the west wasteland, his white hair fluttering. Akainu and Qin Luo's breaths were high, and they looked at each other, like invisible swords clashing, colliding in the air. There was a clear and crisp sound in the air vibrated, and you could vaguely see a sharp sword chirp cut through the air. A moat was plowed in the ground between the two. That day the moat was 20 or 30 feet deep. The ground trembled. A terrifying aura erupted from them, blood surged into the sky, and it was even more exciting. In this battle, the breath of the two rolled like a dragon, breaking through the shackles of heaven and earth, and bursting with earth-shattering energy, sweeping a radius of 10,000 meters, alarming the waves. PFF'd. A soft sound came out, and everyone was shocked to find that Akainu spit out a mouthful of blood. However, his body seemed to be completely on fire, and an incomparably terrifying aura filled the air crazily, and the aura was still climbing and getting stronger. The magma of Akainu was condensed in his hands, and blood flowed out of his mouth. The sky and the earth roared, and in the vast space, there appeared a little giant embodied by magma. Obviously, Akainu has developed magma fruit to the extreme, awakening the fruit's ability. This. Chapter 116_. This. The people around looked at this scene in shock. A magma giant was already amazing, and now there are several more. A magma giant, overlooking Chinluo in the sky. At this moment, the lava flames surging on the surface resonated with the breath of Akainu. The aura of great terror filled the air, pressing Chinluo into the air. So strong. Shocked, everyone looked up at the shocking scene in the void, wanting to step Chinluo under their feet. Entire Dressrosa, countless gazes seemed to freeze on the screen. The chaotic space, the terrifying airflow, the power of destruction, it is hard to imagine that the battle scene between the two can be so amazing. Chinluo was calm, touched the star sword in his hand, and Vivi Isho said on his icy face, "Devil may cry, Tombstone. This sword is unrestrained, free and easy, not trapped by heaven and earth, and has no regrets about everything in the world. What is happiness? What is Devil may cry, Tombstone? Come and live, go and die. Not limited to shape, not limited to swords, not limited to moves, not limited to exercises. The real Xiaoyao Jianqi can be a sword in any form. There is no fixed move, and it can be freely swayed. Unleash your ambitions, your own fantasies, and your own thoughts freely. This sword is born out of shape, born out of sword, born out of moves, and then jumps out of shape, out of sword, out of moves, to get real freedom. The sword energy is turbulent, like the rain in the empty valley, and the empty valley is fresh after the rain. The sky is blue, like the scorching sun, the heat is in full swing, and the wind is scorching hot. Like the bone-chilling cold wind in winter, it is pervasive. Like the sound of spring thunder, thousands of buds of dead trees grow, like the sassy autumn day, reflecting the redness of the mountains. In Chinluo's eyes, he could no longer see any foreign objects, the terrifying sight of the magma giant Akainu, or the riot of Dressrosa. In his eyes, there is only the sword energy that is as bright as flowers, as bright as stars, and as dynamic as a dragon. Xiaoyao's sword chi is not a fixed sword chi fixed exercise, but a talent in a person's chest. Across the space, illuminate everything. Kill. Akainu stared at Chinluo, he shouted angrily, and a magma giant condensed countless fireballs, coercing Ling Tian, leveling everything, and trying to kill Chinluo on the spot. The incomparably terrifying magma bombed and killed, but wherever the white blade day passed, everything exploded and destroyed. Slashed towards Akainu's right arm like lightning. Akainu's face was startled, and a magma giant was almost cut in half under the shadow of the sword. Zhang Huang attacked his right arm, thinking that Chinluo would slash at his head, heart or body. Unexpectedly, Chinluojian turned to look at Akainu's right arm alone. PFF'd. Too late to transform into the magma to resist the sword energy, Akainu's right arm was instantly cut off by the sword light. Akainu looked pale, and with the ability of magma fruit, he temporarily stopped the bleeding broken arm. His eyes were cold, staring at Chinluo. How is it possible, how talented the opponent is, and his swordsmanship is so superb? Hawkeye is afraid that is not the case. In the prison city, everyone was silent at the moment. In the battle between Admiral Akainu and Chinluo, he was defeated and his right arm was cut off. This day is about to change. There was a thought in everyone's mind. How could this be? The bodies of the Marines were trembling, and even Admiral was not his opponent. Then how to fight? Akainu, who lost an arm and greatly reduced his combat power. Chinluo walked slowly with his sword, carrying all Heimi's wishes. Let's kill Akainu right here. Hey! A flickering yellow light slammed towards Chinluo's location. Chinluo's eyes froze, and Observation Haki sensed it, and immediately took a few dozen steps away. The place where he was standing was pierced by a yellow photon particle line and became a huge pothole. Hearing the sound, it was Kizaru, and Kuzan came here. The timing of the two's arrival was really coincidental. Akainu, how did you get beaten like this? Kizaru glanced at Akainu, whose arm was broken, and felt a little conscientious in his heart. The strength of this lunatic really surpassed Admiral. It's really scary. However, this also gave him the ability to taunt Akainu back, making him think Chinluo was easy to deal with. Humph. Akainu drank it coldly, with a pale face and a black line on his forehead. Although he said that as a logia fruit, he could restore his broken arm, but he was naturally upset when Chinluo slapped him in the face. I'm really flattered that the 3 Marine admirals have gathered to arrest me. The corner of Chinluo's mouth evoked a charming smile. He is looking forward to the showdown with the 3 admiral. Let's see how his true combat power has reached. Go ahead and take it. Kuzan exhaled cold air from his mouth, and as soon as the ice came out, the surrounding temperature dropped sharply. From the beginning of admiring Chinluo, it has become more and more out of control now. If Chinluo's existence continues to sail at sea, it will bring a lot of inconvenience to their marine. Only by escorting him into Impel Down is the safest. Just when Chinluo wanted to switch the Raytheon template to fight against Marine 3 Admiral. Boom. The sun on the coast of Dressrosa encountered a formidable enemy. Attack from Captain Jack of the Mammoth. 0. Jack also has another identity, the confidant of Kaido, one of the 4 emperors, and one of the famous 3 disasters, nicknamed Drought, whose bounty is as high as 1 billion Bailey. Jack was ordered by Kaido to come to rescue Doflamingo, but he was still a step too late. Chinluo had already killed him. Then he had no choice but to recover the equipment and fruits from the factory that made the devil fruit, Smile, so that he could go back and have an explanation. Unexpectedly, I happened to meet the flagship of the First Emperor pirates, thinking that Chinluo was on board, and launched a fierce attack. Nami and the others are struggling to resist. However, due to the previous battle, the physical strength was too great, and after a while, it was a bit unsupportable, and the signal to ask for support was sent. Chinluo narrowed his eyes, glanced at the 3 Admiral, and then looked at the coast of Dressrosa. The figure flashed, turned into electric light, and flew to the position of the sun. 3 Admiral deal with it later. Seeing that Chinluo wanted to escape, Akainu was planning to pursue him. Kuzan, who was beside him, reached out his hand to stop him, and said coldly, "Do you think we can really take him down? Even if we can, Marshal Sengoku, let's stop Dressrosa's riot first, and then we can talk about other things here." When Akainu heard this, his face was gloomy and terrifying. The arrest this time is simply a loss of his wife and a loss of soldiers. Now that his strength has declined, he will naturally not quarrel with Kuzan. Kizaru looked at Chinluo's back. His wrinkled face was crowded into a ball. Next time we meet, don't get stronger, it's too scary. 2. Chapter 117 Coast. The First Emperor is under fire from the Mammoth. Fortunately, Shiwang's defensive measures were not bad, resisting several waves of offensive. Drought, you are courting death. Chinluo appeared above the ship, slashing through the incoming artillery fire with a sword, and with a bang, it exploded. Have you finally come out? Drought Jack slowly stepped out of the Mammoth. With a ponytail and 2 braids, he has a strong physique, a metal jaw on his mouth, and 2 ivory-like decorations on his head and shoulders. With spiked rivets, a feathery coat, and 2 sickle-shaped weapons. I didn't look for the 100 Beast Pirates, but you should come first, it's interesting. The voice full of coldness came out, and the white blade in Chinluo's hand, the next second, emitted a dazzling light, a strong sword fierce slashed at Jack. Usually in Drought Jack's character is tyrannical and cruel, short-tempered and very reckless. Unexpectedly, Chinluo was better than him, and he started to work as soon as he disagreed. Elephant fruit shorter knife. In the blink of an eye, Drought Jack roared violently and met Chinluo's sword intent. Boom! In the flash of lightning, there was only a loud bang, and in the dark, there seemed to be a flash of thunder in the void. Senbon Sakura Final View White Emperor Sword. At the same time, stunning cherry blossoms flooded Chinluo's body, and the majestic momentum gathered in the Senbon Sakura Zanpakudo. A new, denser and more domineering Sakura state. At this moment, Chinluo's breath suddenly changed. If Qin Luo had a strong aura at the beginning, like a mountain, then Qin Luo now has a fierce and sharp-edged aura, and is extremely terrifying. Sharp sword. Do not. It was not like that. Qin Luo really turned into a shocking sword. Boom. In just a blink of an eye, Qin Luo was as if his body and sword were united, instantly turning into a 30-meter-long cherry-red giant sword between heaven and earth, 10 million times brighter than the sun, attacking Jack at an astonishing speed. Severely cut off. At this moment, Qin Luo was completely different from any other time. He exuded a pure and powerful sword intent that turned all things into powder. What kind of swordsmanship is this? In an instant, not to mention the pirates of the Mammoth, even Captain Jack's expression changed. The brand new sword intent revealed by Qin Luo is extremely terrifying, and it points directly at the soul. The essence of the sword way is to destroy all things in the world and all living beings in the world. This is the doom of the common people. Anyone who sees this sword will instinctively give birth to a fear from the depths of their souls. Not good. Elephant fruit mammoth form. In the blink of an eye, feeling the terrifying sword energy behind him, Drought Jack's expression changed abruptly, and he turned around quickly. At the same time, display the fruit change possession to enhance its own defense. He thought he could block this attack, but he still underestimated the sword. Boom. The cherry red light burst out, turning the whole world into a day. And Qin Luo's sword chi was almost at its peak. The sword light passed by, directly cutting the space into two, and splitting a sword marked tens of meters long in the void. Before Drought Jack could even react, Qin Luo's terrifying sword slashed into his inner abdomen, forcibly cut a crack, blood rushed out, and before he even felt pain, a sword cut open in his abdomen. The terrifying sword energy ripped apart the space, to the point where even thinking could not keep up. PFF'd. The sound of a sharp blade cutting through flesh and blood sounded in his ears, and Drought Jack trembled, and immediately felt that he was pierced by a terrifying sharp sword. The destructive sword chi burst into thousands of strands through the place where it pierced the body, madly blasting into the 7 meridians and 8 meridians. As the sword chi passed, every cell in Drought Jack's body seemed to have fallen into the cold winter, and all the vitality was cut off and turned into gray. How is that possible? Drought Jack trembled, his eyes widened suddenly, and at that moment, he clearly felt that the world in front of him was gray and white, like the chilling late autumn, completely lost all color. With just one sword, Drought Jack suffered an unprecedented hit. Ah! Just hearing an earth-shattering scream, in front of the terrifying power, Jack was slammed through by Qin Luo's terrifying sword, and the huge mammoth body flew out like a broken kite. Boom! Looking from a distance, a cherry-red sword chi was magnificent, cutting through the void, and Jack was flying high in the direction of the sword chi, in the thick fog, all the way through the heavy void, and slammed into Dressrosa. Among the ruins of the top palace. The power of this blow is so powerful that it can reach a distance of tens of thousands of meters. Dressrosa shook violently again, as if it were about to collapse. And Drought Jack's body rattled, blood spurted out through the pores of his body like a waterfall, and he didn't know how many bones were broken. Drought Jack looked frightened, and had completely lost his courage to fight. He had never encountered such a terrifying sword chi before. The sword chi remaining from that sword lingered in every cell in his body, and after the battle was over, it was still destroying the vitality in his body. With every passing moment, Drought Jack is getting closer to death. Drought Jack couldn't even let out a scream, the breath of life in his body weakened sharply, and the whole person was like a candle in the wind, and it would go out at any time. No. Drought Jack lay in the rubble, forced to recover from his mammoth form, shattered and bloodied. Those tyrannical, resolute and brave eyes suddenly widened, and there was no calm, only the deepest fear. The strength of this guy, and Kaido. Not finished yet. Boom. Accompanied by an earth-shattering loud noise, a majestic cherry-red sword energy radiated radiance to the world, turning the dim underground world into a blinding day. Drought Jack didn't even have time to cover his eyes, and was instantly drowned by the cherry-red sword energy, and then when it went dark, he didn't know anything. Puff! The sword chi subsided, a disheveled head fell in response, and rolled onto the ground, leaving Drought Jack's headless body slumped against the wall, slowly falling down, and then motionless. Behind him, a hole as deep as Jiangsu was pitch black and looked shocking. This. Kizaru, dealing with the Dressrosa riot, looks up at the ruins of the palace. A chill down my spine, a little conscientious. Nima, this sword energy, I don't know if I can dodge it. Chapter 118_. So far, one of the 3 disasters of the Beast Pirates, Drought Jack, died. Qin Luo and his party avoided Marine's ship and left Dressrosa. At the same time, the whole world, the inside story of Dressrosa, was reported wildly by the news agency, and no one knew about it. It is Qin Luo who is in the limelight, a super rookie with a reward of 2 billion Bailey. Defeat King Dressrosa, King Shichibukai, known as Heavenly Yaksha, Doflamingo formerly of Tenryubito. Moreover, Kaido's subordinate, Drought Jack, was beheaded by Qin Luo with 1 sword. Real world-class news. Whitebeard pirates, Moby Dick. An old man and a boat of sons were rarely quiet, watching today's news bulletin. Dad, that kid not only killed Doflamingo, but also Drought Jack. It seems that he is completely going to fight Kaido. It is estimated that his target is the 4 emperors of the sea. Marco said solemnly. Jiu la 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 la, that kid is really kind, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. Whitebeard suddenly looked up and laughed, grabbed the jug and drank. Ruined Kaido's Devil Fruit Factory deal and killed his subordinates, there must be a battle between the 2. In another part of the cabin, there was a conspiracy hidden in the eyes of Blackbeard Teach. Yesterday, Thatch, the captain of the 4th Division, got a purple swirling fruit. He recognized the origin of the fruit at a glance. The goal. The dark fruit can change the body into darkness, has a black hole-like gravitational force, can inhale, compress and smash all things that come into contact with the dark, as well as attract the ability to make it invalid, but it must be touched with hands. With his natural match, Blackbeard swore to get it, even if he killed his companions. The news is overwhelming, newsbirds are spreading newspapers on the sea, and all places that can be reached are covered. Beautiful and flowery Dressrosa, there is such a big conspiracy hidden in secret. Close double angle bracket. Qin Luo is blatantly provocative, Tenryubito and Marine are just a group of wine bags and rice bags. Close double angle bracket. Marine's 3 admirals all set out to arrest Qin Luo, but returned without success. According to eyewitnesses at the time, Akainu was also cut off by Qin Luo's arm, which was later restored using elementalization. Close double angle bracket. Morgans made the World Economic and Social Society under his control frantically print newspapers, spreading the news to places that could not be covered. Maybe a new era has really come. Qin Luo, with a supernova, wants to change the status quo at sea and the decadent system of Tenryubito. Wano Kuni, on the throne of a luxurious palace. Kaido took a gulp of wine. Sometimes laughing, sometimes crazy. Something's wrong, Kaido-sama. A woman with slender legs wearing high heels, wearing a fleece coat and a face mask, said. She is Runti, one of the 6 sons of Linkong, with the ability of dragon fruit, ancient species, and swollen head dragon. Runti, what's the matter? I'm in a panic, haven't I told you many times, you must be calm when you encounter things. Kaido frowned and said straightly. Yes, Runti responded. That's right, tell me, what's the matter? Lord Kaido, something happened to Drought Jack. Jack, wasn't he sent by me to rescue Doflamingo? Did he encounter Marine and was arrested by him? No, it's not Marine, it's Qin Luo. Drought Jack was beheaded by Qin Luo with 1 sword, and Doflamingo was the same. All in all, a lot of big things happened in Dressrosa. Runti reported truthfully. What? You say it again. Drought Jack has been killed by Qin Luo. Kaido showed a violent gesture, and the hand on the throne was clenched because he was too excited, and he easily held going on the throne into a pool of mud. Runty also took out a thumb-sized black phone bug from his pocket, which recorded the battle between Droughtjack and Doflamingo before his death, and handed it to Kaido. Kaido took the phone bug and pressed the switch. The phone bug's eyes immediately shot 2 rays of light. The light fell on the wall to form a screen. The sound is like a movie on Earth. The video picture is very clear, giving people an immersive feeling. As for the content in the video, it is the process of Doflamingo being killed by Chin Luo forcefully, and Droughtjack being beheaded by Chin Luo with one sword. I'm going to kill him. After watching this recorded video, Kaido was furious. Over Wano Kuni, dark clouds were hoarding, as black as a handful of ink was splattered on the blue sky. Boom boom. In the dark clouds, the muffled sound was rolling, the bright arcs were intertwined, and the thick thunder of the bucket was entangled in it, as if it would turn into a thunderous dragon and rush to the ground at any time. In the sky, this roar exploded, its sound shook the sky and the earth, Wano Kuni mountains and rivers swayed, and all the people knelt down toward the sky, shivering. Kaido's roar didn't feel like a human anymore, it was more like an angry monster roaring at the sky. All the people of Wano Kuni kept kneeling and covered their ears in pain, but even if their eardrums ruptured and blood spurted, they still did not dare to move half an inch of their bodies. The dark cloud, Kaido incarnated as Arlong, a blue dragon head protruded down, and a pair of dragon eyes were so angry that their anger seemed to burn the world. Ellipsis. In the vast ocean. The first emperor is moving slowly. On the boat, Nami glanced at Hancock from time to time, as if she had met a rival in love, with hostility in her eyes. Hancock noticed Nami's eyes. Without any fear, he raised his chest arrogantly, as if to say that the concubine is the bright match who is marrying. Nami bowed her head, a little frustrated, as if she was really short on fire, but she would not easily admit defeat. After all, she was worthy of the pink maid outfit she was wearing. Finishing the Doflamingo matter, Luo left the sun, said goodbye to Chin Luo, and gave Chin Luo a promise that if he needed him in the future, he would be instructed. At this time, there were only 3 daughters and Chin Luo on the first emperor. There is a table on the board. The 3 women seem to be competing, sitting on a table and fighting the landlord together. Nami and Perona, one red and one blue, are the peasant lineup. Hancock crossed Erlang's legs, arrogant and delicate, making people unable to look directly at him. As the landowner, she unceremoniously doubled her hand and pressed the 2 women. There is no sense of disobedience to this picture, Chin Luo even wanted to take a photo of them, and happiness stayed at this moment. At present, it seems that Hancock has also been brought into the pit, and it is so exciting to play. Chapter 119_. Originally, when Hancock was not familiar with the rules of fighting landlords, Nami still wanted to join forces with Perona to abuse Hancock, a rookie. However, he never expected that Hancock's wisdom was quite high, and he could handle it with ease under the attack of the 2. In the case of bad cards, prudence is not to ask for a landlord. Of course, there must be rules. When fighting landlords, teammates are not allowed to talk to each other, so be careful with your eyes, otherwise, it will not count. Chin Luo, come and play too, let your concubine see your strength in fighting the landlord. Hancock accidentally saw the wrong card, grabbed the landlord, and was defeated by Nami and the 2 girls, and he was a little distressed. Just when he saw Chin Luo coming, he asked him to replace him and defeat them. Let's just play, I'll just watch. Seeing Nami and Perona's dangerous gaze inadvertently, Chin Luo said with shame. Don't, my concubine needs your help. Hancock is full of tears, if you don't fit, I will cry for you. Nami rolled her eyes, your acting skills look too fake. If you say fake crying, I'm a little ahead of you, and I have to learn more from me, so I don't care. Since she wants you to come, then you can come, master. After a while of shirk, Chin Luo smiled bitterly and finally agreed. Chin Luo, Nami, Corona. Another duel, this time he will not lose. The game starts, and the cards are dealt. After a few seconds, Chin-luo looked at the cards. Q, Scorpion, Double Ghosts, 2, A, KKK, J, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, a pair of 4, 3. 2 ghosts and a leprosy, this can be called the landlord, and the landlord must be called. Chin-luo said with a smile. Hancock was beside him, looking closely, blushing slightly, mainly looking at people, not cards. Both Nami and the 2 women agreed. No, so Chin-luo got the landlord. Click on the land card, which is 3 feet, 5 feet, A. A is the leprosy card. So at this moment, Chin-luo has 3 leprosy cards, namely, A, Q. This hand has to be super doubled. This kind of hand is a must-win, it's just how much you can win, you know. Winning is the number of bombs, obviously, I should have 3 bombs. Then, think about it first, this, 56, definitely needs a straight, so let's play a 5 first. 5 in the landlord card, so I played it first. Chin-luo explained while playing cards. Next, we are going to play a 2 feet, but maybe the opponent won't give us a chance. Corona hit a 6 feet. Immediately after, Nami topped with a 2 feet. Vivi in Hancock's eyes was surprised. God, the prediction was right, and it really blocked you. It turned out to be like this. The sea is vast, I will take a step back, diaresis. Chin-luo shook his head. No, it's not yet time. However, I have a bottom line here. As long as they dare to be fancy, I will blow her up. Nami is considering. Chin-luo started his explanation again. This card doesn't win, I'll be honest. Chin-luo paused for a while. It's impossible not to win. If you don't win this card, I'll wash the dishes for the next week. It's not that I have a lot of money, I just know that this game is impossible to win. No, it's because they can't win, and I can't lose. At this time, Nami finally played the card, the straight, 34,567. Chin-luo said, 3 4 5 6 7 even played such a card. To be fair, if I get a little angry, I will blow him up. I can't bear her, but she still has 11 cards, so she can bear her hand. Chin-luo thought for a while and then said, but I'm reasonable, I can't bear it. I decided not to bear it. 2 leprechauns plus a pair of 3s, bomb. Corona shook her head and said, no. Nami is under consideration and has not played a card. Chin-luo said to Hancock, if she bombs me, it means there is an emergency. In the end, Nami chooses, don't. How do you play a hand like this? Honestly, the 56 can be a little dangerous to play. Nami might not want it, but Corona will. So I can hit A, J, first. If J, see if he tops 2. Chin-luo played the card. Sure enough, the crow's mouth worked again, and Corona directly hit a 2 feet. Nami cooperated with her teammates, don't. She gave her top 2, she only played 1 card, let her play. Look what happened to her. Chin-luo didn't want it either. He wanted to see the other party's next move. 10, J, straight. Corona made a straight, as Chin-luo had expected. Look, that's why I didn't play 56 just now. Nami shook her head, no. Chin-luo is the same, don't. I decided to let her do it. She only needs more than 5 cards in this hand, I will blow it up one by one, more than 5 cards. Speaking, Corona hit a 2 feet. Good guy, 1 single 2 jumps, and 1 blows up. Chin-luo gang said was ignored like a fart. 3 kings and a leprosy card were blown up. You thought he was on the 2nd floor, but he was actually on the 5th floor. The 2 women on the opposite side both said, no. Now Chin-luo's cards are Double Ghost, 2, 56, 44. Come on, here comes the key scene, I'm calling 4 5 6 at this time, it's the biggest, you know. Just finished speaking, the words are still hot. Perona followed by a straight, 6, 10, J, straight. Man, there's another straight. Okay, your card is on top, I'll let you play, you still have 3 cards, I can make you run away. Nami like soft, continue, don't. Chin Luo also, don't. Chin Luo's remaining cards. Double ghosts, 2, 4. At this time, I definitely can't ask for it, but it is absolutely impossible for her to escape with 3 cards. At this point, Perona had a pair of 3s and only 1 card left. Nami homeopathy, don't. At this time, the atmosphere became very tense, and even Hancock couldn't help holding his breath, not daring to breathe. Chin Luo thought for a moment, you play a pair of 3s, there are 2. 3 scorpions outside, Perona only has 1 card and it is impossible to blow up, then only Nami is left. So, if I blow them up in this wave, and then hit a 4, Perona may have to pass, then I'm finished, but if I hit a 2, Nami will blow me, right? Ah, that's it. Damn, I have to wash the dishes for a week. It's really gone, it's dead, it's not. The trough is uninterrupted. After calmly analyzing, Chin Luo came to a conclusion and was shocked. What kind of operation is this, old man? The corner of Hancock's mouth twitched. Are you asking me to watch a good show? Is this coercion? Stealing chickens will not lose rice. Hancock couldn't help laughing, covering his mouth and holding back his laughter. At this moment, Chin Luo looks very much like her who just started playing the landlord. Chin Luo was not reconciled, and thought about it for a while, and finally a pair of ghosts came out and bombed each other. Diaresis, give it a go. Both Nami and Perona said, no. Chin Luo's remaining cards, 2, 4. Now the cards left outside, 45, 10, JQK, AA. Nami has 11 cards and Perona has 1. I still have to fight. If I take off with 2, Perona will definitely not want it, but as for Nami, it will blow me up. So, I bet on Perona, S4, and I bet on you with a 4. If you have a 4, I don't have to do the dishes. Chin Luo said with a serious face. Hancock is also staring at Perona to see if she will play, or say her whole card is 4. The probability of this is very low. Finally, after a moment of silence, Perona smiled wryly and shook her head, no. Nami didn't even choose to fry, don't. Chin Luo single went a 2, and won the game. This. Hancock's expression was terrifying, he even raised his thumb and shouted at Chin Luo. Ending. Perona turned over the last whole card, and it was really 4, and Chin Luo bet it right. Nami's cards. 5, 1, Wangs, 0, 10, JK, 3 leprosy, he can blow up, but there is no need for this, the final result is a loss no matter what, he has no cards that can be bigger than 2. If he chooses double 10 plus 2 leprosy and blows it up, then he only has 5 JK and a leper card, no matter how much he plays, it can't be worth 2. If he chooses 5 or 10 plus 3 leprosy, then the death is even worse. All stand up. This hand predicts 4 perfect bet. Chin Luo looked serious and patted the table. I am the #1 gambling saint in the new world, are you kidding me? Want me to wash the dishes, it doesn't exist. The program effect is full. Hancock is still in a state of shock. Did you lose your studies? Deductions for learning waste 1. I've learned it, I've learned it. Perona admired from the side, surprised by Chin Luo's intuition. Could he be telepathic with himself? It's not bad to lose the game, but to win. Master, have another plate. No, you guys play, I have other things to deal with. Chin Luo got up, smiled and left. No one will find that a drop of sweat drips from his back, the thrill of Gen Nima. It's really close, stealing chickens can't lose rice. P.S. The material comes from Mr. Ma, hehehehe. Chapter 120 _. At night, the bright moon is in the sky, and the stars are dotted. Host, Chin Luo. Currently using characters from the heavens, DNF Ghost Swordsman. Owned characters, Thor Rey 83%, Ghost Swordsman 89%, Blazing Feather Flame Phoenix Suzaku 75%. Chance to draw characters from the heavens, 0. Hockey, Armament Emission, Observation Hockey, Listen to All Things, Foresight, Insight, Conqueror. Fighting Technique, Armor of Thunder Escape LV2. Swordsmanship, 6th Soul Skill, 10,000 swords return to the sect. Zanpakuto, Senbon Sakura. Ability, Multi-Shadow Clone. Killing Doflamingo and Drought Jack, let Chin Luo's Ghost Swordsman progress reach 89%, and it is said that reaching 90% is a qualitative leap. It is not as simple as simply acquiring skills. It is said that the awakening of the complete body can be achieved, and the lowest level can reach the realm of extinction. Dinner was prepared by Chin Luo himself to celebrate today's victory. Chin Luo's signature dish, fried lobster. Walking out of the kitchen, I took out the lobster that had just been stir-fried, and the whole plate was full of aroma. With a little pungent. Extremely spicy. The three girls couldn't help frowning, their noses moved, and they felt as if they were about to sneeze. However, after smelling it again, smelling the fragrance that permeated the air, they couldn't help sticking out their tongues and licking them. He licked his mouth, a look of anticipation in his eyes. It smells really good. Chin Luo carried a pot full of stir-fried lobsters, which were full of color and fragrance, extremely spicy and very tasty. It was steaming hot, and the aroma rolled out. The three women looked into their eyes and saw that the porcelain plate was filled with bright red lobsters, and the carapaces exuded a warm glow. A little bit of water flowed on the shrimp shell, scratched slightly, and dripped on the plate, very crystal clear. Come on, full of stir-fried lobster, it will definitely make you eat refreshed. Chin Luo laughed and put a large plate of lobster on the table. Follow Chin Luo's instructions, put on disposable gloves, and you're done. Nami, Perona, and Hancock all quickly followed suit, immediately grabbed a red lobster, opened its mouth, snorted, and swallowed even the shell and meat into their mouths. The tender shrimp meat seems to be elastic, and the spicy juice overflows when grasped by hand. The juice slides down the shrimp meat, and the spicy taste becomes more and more intense. After that, I squeezed the huge shrimp head and twisted it abruptly. At the moment of twisting it open, a spicy soup would flow down from the shrimp head. The soup was delicious, and Garp opened his mouth and sucked all the soup into his mouth. The hot and sour taste, accompanied by the aroma of shrimp, rushed into the mouth surging. The eyes of the three girls were widened, and their eyes were full of shock. The next moment, their bodies trembled. With one bite, the delicious soup flowed down the shell of the shrimp head into their mouths. It was as if a thin film wrapped around the tongue, hot and fragrant, making the pores all over the body tighten in an instant. Hancock's throat rolled, a look of pleasure on her face, her eyes squinting, her tongue running around her lips. The spicy taste stimulated his taste buds, and the delicious feeling was wrapped in a familiar taste, which belonged to the taste of spicy strips. Instant, Hancock's mouth was full, and the spicy taste surged between chewing. Fragrant, spicy, numb, cool. All kinds of tastes burst out at this moment. Hancock chewed the hot shrimp, his face was a little red, it was spicy. He swallowed the shrimp with a grunt, Hancock opened his mouth and breathed, all of which was hot. So spicy, so refreshing. Why is there no such delicacy in Nine Snake Island? It's really delicious. The same is true for Nami and others. When they were stuffed with shrimp meat, they reached out and grabbed another lobster. Follow the steps of Hancock before and start eating step by step. After unscrewing the shrimp head, he began to suck the spicy soup, allowing the spicy taste to spread in his mouth, the pores all over his body blooming, and his lips were red. Shrimp entrance, the spicy taste makes, CGAC, them all narrowed their eyes. Hum hum hum. The three girls enjoyed their meal. With the ice water on the side, drink it in one sip. There is only one word to describe the whole body: cool. 2 words: too cool. 3 words: cool. However, the three girls wanted to cry a bit. From the taste of the lobster, they tasted a real spicy taste, which is always impressive. Qin Luo also immediately joined the battle, otherwise they would all be robbed by the three women. 30 minutes later. The four quickly solved a plate of lobsters. Rubbing his stomach and lying on the boat, everyone's faces were full of satisfaction. In the early morning, all sounds were silent, and the eastern horizon shone with a trace of light, carefully soaking the light blue sky, and a new day gradually moved in from afar. The three girls had already got up and cleaned up yesterday's mess. Qin Luo also woke up. After washing up, he headed towards the next target, going, the 4 historical text road signs. Kaido and Ant each have a piece, and there is also a piece in the whale tree on Zou Island, and Qin Luo can only find the remaining piece. The first stop of the purpose of this trip is Zou. System, the reward says, the key of the plane. What does it mean? Ding, getting the news of the plane key. Please wait a moment. The key of the plane, a plane shuttle instrument from thousands of universes, exclusive to the plane copy space function. There are thousands of worlds, everyone can enter it. Qin Luo was a little excited. This space key is too powerful. Could it be that he can still return to Earth? The low-level planes are Heaven Sword and Dragon Slayer, Tianlong Babu, The Condor Heroes, Fengnian, Legend of Sword and Fairy 3, Hua Qiangu. Intermediate planes. Devil's High School, One Leaf Covers the Sky, Perfection, Duba, Fantasy World. Advanced planes. Saiyan, One Punch Man, Ultra. Super plane. The information is incomplete and cannot be analyzed. Earth, it should belong to a low-level plane copy, right? Qin Luo thought. Yes. It turned out to be like this, so to speak, super plane. I am quite looking forward to it. The corner of Qin Luo's mouth evoked an evil and charming smile. Wouldn't it be a pleasure to take the heroine of Dakion World into his pocket? This plane key, Qin Luo must get it. And get all the historical text, and then go to the kingdom of Alabasta to find a beautiful royal sister. The thought of Robin's crystal white skin 2 years later made Qin Luo's heart throb. But at this time, it seems that there is a problem. Master, there is a huge pirate ship ahead. Pirate skull, with a white crescent-shaped beard. Nami observed with a telescope, said 1510.